Hey guys, let me know if this is better. So I just posted a video. It looks like it was lagging a lot in the last video. So I'm gonna see if this one is better. But if it is, I'm gonna go right into what's going on. Uh, yeah, it appears better, but a little choppy. Okay. Okay, because this guy looks a bit. So let's just talk about what's going on right now. So this morning, before everything started, this morning there were hey Justin, there were debating about like what's going on. So might as well go live on the TikTok and Instagram too. There's a lot of debate about hey, should we hold this stimulus package or not? Should we not? And so what they want to do in the beginning is that they actually wanted to like not even hold the vote today. So Congress is like, there's people from Red because they didn't like something in the stimulus package. It could have been some delay tactic, but they didn't even want to hold the vote today. But so they all have a vote, hey, whether we should have the vote today or not, and then that vote ended up going through. So yeah. So currently, right now, they are debating on the stimulus package. Hi, everybody. I did want to. So the reason probably why the last stream was lagging is because I wanted to like so we could watch it together, but it's not working. It was like lagging a lot. Where are you watching? You can watch it on C-SPAN. I wanted to watch. Where are you watching? You can watch it on C-SPAN. I wanted us to watch it together. See, let me put it on my monitor so we can all kind of see this together. So, I'm like so new to like all this streaming. I'm so new to like all this streaming and stuff that I'm not 100% sure how to do this. So, but let me try to figure out the best way possible. All right, so we can all watch this thing together. You can see exactly where I'm watching from. All right. But yeah, so right now they're just debating. But it's crazy this morning because they're like, oh, they didn't even want to hold the vote. Trying to go home. They were trying to go home, guys. So I'm pulling it up on my other computer. I'm trying to put it on this monitor so we can watch it together. Bill would pass. Bill would pass. Should they vote? Yeah, they're debating right now. All right, so I'm about to pull it up on this monitor right here. So let's go ahead and mute that one. And we'll come back over here. Thank you guys for bearing with me while I figure this out. Thank you guys for bearing. Okay, so I just need to get rid of that one. Let's go the whole thing. Let's close QuickBooks. What? Okay, and let me know if you guys can see it. What's up, Chama? Make sure I have this thing all set up to go. Get over here. And then okay. So yeah, this is This is
a historic. This is a historic.
where they're voting right now.
Among other things, today we will be voting to cut. Child poverty.
And then wonder why it's double feedback.
Three times. The only thing better is getting the vote for it to America. And the American people, help is finally on the way. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Kentucky Research. Gentleman from Missouri is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to make sure. President Trump, in 2019, we hit the lowest.
Okay, now it's finally up.
Ever. Lowest possible.
Tell me if you guys can hear it now. It's normal now.
President Trump.
It's not lagging.
Gentleman of Research.
But-
Gentleman from Kentucky is recognized. Mr. Speaker,
Hi, Veronica.
minutes to the gentlelady from California, the distinguished chair of the Financial
So this is
Services
kind of what we got
Committee.
going on right now.
Gentlewoman from California is recognized for a minute and a half.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Speaker and members. I would like to thank President Biden and all
Make sure you guys can
of the
see it.
Democratic leadership for this wonderful, historic piece of legislation that we're voting on here today. This indeed responds to the needs of the American people.
So right now they're just voting on it. Came from the hood. I'm about to post on TikTok actually right now about what actually is going on and things like that.
But
But yeah.
Congress at this time. I want you to know that this bill not only supports education, your stimulus checks.
Yes, you can hear it. It's working out. Yay! Guys are figuring this out.
Businesses will be
I'm
able
on-
to reopen and to stay open.
I'm like new to this whole YouTube thing, so I'm like, you guys gotta bear with me like on all of this. So I appreciate all you guys' patience, and hopefully as the YouTube channel continue to grow, we'll continue to work on it. But guys, if you're just joining, this morning they had a debate. They want to actually go home. Red wanted to actually go home, but they're like, no, we're gonna sit here. Right now they're doing the debate. This is the debate that was the last. After this debate, we'll start to hear more about, hey, what's actually going on. But let me go ahead and Duke, your tip shave helped. Duke, your tip shave helped you. Thank you. What tip shave? Your tip shave.
And that is in urban communities. It's Black, white, Asian, all folks will have access to this rental assistance. Combined with the funding for emergency rental assistance, I negotiated in the December stimulus package and the $5 billion for 70,000 new housing vouchers that are included in this package. This bill is truly historic and will help people across the nation to remain safely housed. Thank you so very much, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentlewoman yields back. Gentleman from Kentucky Research. The gentleman from Missouri is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, looking good. So right now they're continuing the debate.
Colorado.
Like on this stimulus
Gentlewoman from
package.
Colorado is recognized for 3.5 minutes.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
so we'll
to
just
the
stream
ranking
this
member
from
of the
here.
Budget Committee, my friend Congressman Jason Smith. Thank you for this time. COVID relief, Chairman. Here we go again. The left continues to manipulate the English language, however it suits their
Ask
fancy.
questions. We're just sitting here chilling right now.
Swamp.
68 of you guys, so I appreciate all you guys showing up.
Please, President Biden is dropping bombs before.
I'm gonna continue to do like research and updates on my other
Where is the
screen.
relief of moms and dads trying to return their children to school? This legislation has more funding for Democrat pet projects than it does for getting our kids
So right now I'm
out
just checking
behind the
Twitter.
screens and back into the classrooms. Democrats say this money that hasn't been and won't be spent anytime soon is urgently needed to safely reopen schools. Bull. Many states have had their schools open for months now. By one estimate, state departments of education have between 53 and 63 billion federal funds to reopen. That's unspent.
Hey guys, currently live streaming the actual debate and what's going on with the stimulus package. So if you want to follow, join the live.
School year.
Oh, wait.
Democrats should stop using kids.
Hey guys, currently live streaming
for
the
teachers.
actual debate in the vote of the stimulus package. If you want to watch, make sure you come join the live stream. Come on in. Let's go. Come on.
And your lobbyist friends. What about our seniors? Where is the relief for those who have suffered under draconian leadership of Cuomo, Whitner, Newsom? This legislation uses COVID like cheap drugstore concealer, masking the nasty truth about Democrat spending. This is nothing more than a trashy spending spree while doing nothing for those who have suffered the most from this China virus. With a $1 trillion left unspent from previous COVID bills.
Hi. Is the child tax credit going to count as income? No.
Of this bill
It's not going to
is
count as
going
income.
to address COVID-related issues. About 45% of it won't be spent until 2022 and beyond. And it begs the question, why would Democrats push such a partisan, divisive, and frankly, unhelpful bill? The answer can be found on K Street, Mr. Speaker, where lobbyists close to Pelosi, Schumer, and Biden are already chilling the body. Mr. Speaker,
Excuse me.
this legislation will
China virus.
first COVID bill to
Yeah,
receive
China virus.
zero bipartisan support. Americans know this bill will benefit states and unions that have been poorly mismanaged. But on Main Street, the small businesses will continue to suffer. $90 billion to bail out private pension plans, $500 billion to states and localities to keep their economies locked down. Less than 9% of this $1.9 trillion goes to something COVID-related. Meanwhile, Planned Parenthood gets funding, pensions get bailed out, and San Francisco's balance sheets goes from red to black. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Planned Parenthood can go fund themselves. If conservatives were
fund
in charge,
themselves.
you would see a
Go
limited
fund themselves. She really wanted to say something else. Oh, thank you for saying bless you. Oh, thank you, Tiffany, Haley, Denny.
Look at businesses.
Thank you. And I see you say you're usually on TikTok. I'm about to go on TikTok right now.
Never forget, these jobs are essential, and the best stimulus package is to reopen. And with that, I yield. Thank you.
She was mad. Who thinks she was mad? They can go fund themselves. She wanted to say something else.
45 seconds to the gentlelady from Virginia, a distinguished member of the Budget Committee, Ms. Wexton.
Gentlewoman from Virginia is recognized for 45 seconds.
Mr. Speaker, we all want to get out of this pandemic and back to normal. We want to ensure that our kids can live safely in their classrooms. We want to get more shots to arms. We want to put money directly into the pockets of the Americans in need. And we want to restore jobs in our communities. We have to take action now, and the American Rescue Plan is the best way forward. Our colleagues across the aisle want to gaslight the American people on this, but they know that this bill has the support of over 70% of Americans, and there's a reason for that. The American Rescue Plan meets the needs of our families and communities right now. With this bill,
All right, so now we're about to go live on
we will cut down poverty
TikTok.
in half. We will deliver transformative tax cuts for our families, especially working moms. This is a great day because help is on the way.
Yeah.
And I yield back.
Gentlewoman yields back. The gentleman from Kentucky reserves. The gentleman from Missouri is recognized. I reserve. Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Kentucky.
Mr. Speaker, I now yield 45 seconds to the distinguished gentleman from Texas, a member of the Budget Committee, Mr. Doggett.
Hey guys, we're
Gentleman from
streaming.
Texas is recognized for 45 seconds.
Rescue and relief for those awaiting life-saving vaccines. For
Your shirt is everything.
businesses,
I really appreciate it.
Families about to lose their home. For impoverished
Guys,
children,
if you want,
for those
hi
who
TikTok. If you
just
want a
don't
better
go back
view,
to school.
join
These are survival
join YouTube.
checks that
YouTube
are
has a better view. My
And the
YouTube
same
is at
Republicans
Duke
who
Loves
delayed
Taxes.
relief
At Duke Loves
for
Taxes.
7 long last
If you need help with taxes, make sure you go use the link in my bio.
This year. Texas families tell me they can't wait for more of your Republican gamesmanship. And our mayors and counties across Texas, they have been the ones who stood alone, shouldering the burden of leadership after multiple Trump failures and outrageous Abbott interference. They need
Hey guys, I'm
to
currently
survive
live
our
streaming
communities.
the actual
That's
stimulus
the relief
debate
we
in
provide.
the vote. If you
Let's
want to go watch, just
preserve
join the live
promise
stream.
of
Come on in.
life,
Come on.
liberty for those whose future has been dimmed by hardship. Republicans will not again deny the relief that we are delivering today. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Kentucky reserves. The gentleman from Missouri is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield 1 minute to my good friend from Mississippi.
Gentleman from Mississippi is recognized for 1 minute. Over the last year, Republicans and Democrats have worked together on numerous occasions to provide COVID relief for the American people. Unfortunately, this bill was not that way. This legislation is a completely partisan bill that has yet to receive one Republican vote in either the House or the Senate. This spending bill will appropriate nearly $2
Join the family. What's up? Yeah, she's big
at
man.
a time in which we still have $1 trillion.
Keep the hood. They steal the internet. So we get up right. They're debating right now.
In which our economy is growing. On which
if you want a better view,
Americans are being vaccinated.
If you want a better view, join
public health needs.
Join YouTube. YouTube has a much better view.
Reopening our schools or even securing our border, we will be voting to add almost $2 trillion to our national debt. The most of the spending going to fulfill campaign promises and fund the agenda of the far left. We must reject this partisan bill that even many Democrats admit is the most progressive legislation in the last quarter century. Okay. And Congress must instead focus on working together for the good of the American people. Yeah. Thank you, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Missouri reserves. The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 45 seconds to the gentleman from Rhode Island, a distinguished member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, Mr. Cicilline.
They joined me.
Rhode Island recognized for 45 seconds.
Mr. Speaker, people have been wanting.
Okay, guys, everyone who's just joining right now, they're debating on the stimulus package. So right now, it's a whole debate right now. If you're missing anything, when this thing first started, like this morning, it started at 9 a.m. Central Time. When it started, they wanted to actually stop and want everybody to go home. They wanted everybody to go home. So this whole debate was delayed by 45 minutes. In the beginning, it was delayed. But now they're saying, so there was a vote that says, hey, should we go home? Hey, we should not go home? And it was a no. So everybody was freaking out this morning like, no, they're not going to vote today. But now they are. So right now they're doing, oh, snap. Cool. Okay, so, oh, that's so cool. I just got really good news. Oh my God. If this good news happens, I cannot wait to share with you guys. I just got extremely good news. But where was that? Yeah, so they had this whole vote today about what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. So that's what we're doing right now. But if you guys need while I guys have you here, if you guys need any help with your tax, make sure you fill out the link in my bio, okay? Make sure you fill out the link in my bio. But if you need help with any taxes, don't hesitate to call. I'm going to be here on live. Someone on my team can always answer, but don't hesitate to call. I'm also going to post that link in on YouTube, and I'm going to pin it on YouTube. Guys, if you want a better view, I'm streaming on YouTube. If you want a better view, I'm streaming on YouTube. Let's go ahead and turn back on this debate.
Expanding the earned income tax credit and the child tax credit, cutting child poverty, supported by Democrats and Republicans. I say it's supported by Democrats and Republicans with one exception. The Republicans who serve in this Congress. Republicans across the country support it. Independents across the country support it. Democrats support it. This is time to act. I yield back.
Oh, let me mirror this.
Gentleman from Missouri, reserves. Gentleman from Kentucky.
Oh, now it's more normal.
Mr. Speaker, I now yield 45 seconds to the gentleman from New York, distinguished member of the Energy and Commerce Committee, Ms. Clark.
Gentleman from New York is recognized for 45 seconds.
And I thank the gentleman from Kentucky. Mr. Speaker, I rise once again in support of the American Rescue Act. This monumental comprehensive legislation will bring this.
It's on the channel is C. If you can see it.
$1,400 direct payments to the most.
I'm watching it from online. I'm not watching it from TV.
Child poverty in half. $26 billion for emergency rental assistance.
So right now we're just watching it, but I'll continue to keep you guys updated.
New money for the PPP program.
New money for the PPP.
Of the virus, we experienced unprecedented loss and economic devastation.
Okay, so right here they're talking about more money for the PPP program, guys. If you don't know about the PPP, it's something I strongly recommend that you apply for. So right now we're talking about more money from the PPP, which is really good news which is really exciting. But right now, this thing, if you're just joining, the thing is expected to pass today. Right now, they're doing a debate. If you do need help with your taxes, make sure you leave this live. Go set up an appointment real quick and come back to the live. I'm not going anywhere. You can feel free to call me or call somebody on my team if you need help with your taxes. It's also pinned in YouTube. Okay, so let's get back to the debate.
The gentleman from California, a distinguished member of the Agriculture and Oversight and Reform Committees, Mr. Khanna.
Gentleman's recognized.
Mr. Speaker, this bill is historic because it buries the myth that the cause of childhood poverty is a lack of character or a lack of hard work or a lack of love. The bill affirms the simple truth that the cause of poverty is a lack of income to cover basic necessities. No child in America should be deprived of food, of medicine, of clothing, or of education because of the accident of birth. That is what this bill stands for. It represents and marks an ideological revolution on behalf of justice. I yield back.
Yields back. Gentleman from Kentucky reserves. Gentleman from Missouri reserves. Gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I now have 45 seconds. The lady from Florida, a distinguished member of the Oversight and Reform and Appropriations Committee, Ms. Wasserman Schultz.
Gentlewoman from Florida is recognized for 45 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the gentleman for yielding. Mr. Speaker, to honor the 500,000 Americans who perished in this pandemic and rescue the millions still struggling in its fiscal chokehold, we must end this national viral nightmare. The American Rescue Plan is our best hope and the most ambitious progressive legislation in scope and impact since the Affordable Care Act. It delivers direct payments to families, helps our schools safely reopen, and ensures small businesses and Main Street stay open. It also ramps up testing and vaccine deployments, especially to underserved communities. This plan's tax changes likely cut child poverty in half. If we want kids behind desks, shots in arms, and people in jobs, this American Rescue Plan delivers vital relief now and lays a solid foundation for the future.
It's really important.
Thankfully, the misers are no longer in charge, and help is on the way. I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentlewoman yields back. Gentleman from Kentucky reserves. Gentleman from Missouri reserves. Gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 1.5 minutes to the gentleman.
Hey, so guys, if you're just joining, real quick, I messaged you, you didn't reply. Sometimes our messages are hard to respond to, but just if you need actual tax help, I'm trying to put this number right here. Of course, I'm unorganized, but I'm not unorganized. I just got to get it together. Let's see if I can just do it like this. Cool. Woo! Make sure you call that number for tax help. It's mirrored on YouTube. But yeah, guys, just to kind of give you guys an update about what is going on. Right now, they're doing a debate, so the actual vote hasn't started. The actual vote's probably expected to start thank you, Boss S Management. I really appreciate that. The actual vote is expected to start. You can't see the whole number. Let me know if you can see the whole number now. Can't see the whole number. Can't see 4285. Yeah. Okay, cool. Last two numbers, can't see. You still can't see? Okay, cool. We see it. Move to the left. 4285. Can't see last number. So, okay. Okay, you can see it? 4285. All right, cool. So, guys, just to kind of give you an update about what is going on. Right now, they are doing a debate on the stimulus package. All right, so they're debating this morning. This morning, they were talking about, hey, you know, I know it's backwards on IG. I don't know how to mirror it on IG. It doesn't allow me to mirror the thing. But this morning they were saying, hey, you know, we want to go home. We don't even want to vote on this thing. We want to pass. We want just to go home. But they're like, no, you're not going home. You're going to stay here and you're going to vote. You're going to vote now. Okay? So that's what's kind of going on right now. Right now they're debating. So this is a debate that's supposed to last anywhere from up to 2 hours. After this debate, which is maybe like in an hour or so, this is when they're going to start working with actually voting on the stimulus package. This is when they're going to actually start voting on the stimulus package. So let's kind of turn on. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Kentucky reserves. Gentleman from Missouri reserves.
I yield myself the balance of the time.
Gentleman's recognized. Gentleman from Missouri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, there's this popular phrase that our speaker is known for, that we must pass the
pin
bill
it to the
before
moments.
we know
How do
what's
you
in
pin
it.
the moments?
Well,
Pin
the
number,
upside
you
of this
pin
is
the
we
moment?
must pull the bill before the American people knows what's in it. After they figure out what's in this bill, they won't like it. We've looked at this bill. We've read it. Less than 9% of all funding of this bill goes for healthcare spending, to crush the virus, to put vaccinations in the arms of Americans. More than 20%.
I had no idea, guys. I'm so new to all
this
this.
bill goes to policies that harms jobs and reduces
Oh,
employment.
snap. Cool.
36
Yes, that is so cool. Can you pin comments
will be
in
cut
TikTok?
from Medicare just next year alone because of this bill.
No,
Over
you can't.
$360 billion will be cut from seniors in 10 years because of this bill. Mr. Speaker, when the facts
He is
unfold,
mad.
the American people
Mad.
will know
Mad,
that this
mad.
is a progressive wish list forced down by the Democrat Party.
Gentleman, this time as they fired. The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, may I inquire how much time remains?
45 seconds remaining.
He's mad.
Gentleman recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, bosses, management. I want to pin your comments. Yeah, call 833-400-4285 for taxes. Guys, if you need help with taxes, to speak with anybody from me or my team, make sure you give that call. Make sure you give that number a call.
Because yesterday, the Bashir administration presented to the General Assembly
He was mad.
numbers that
He was so mad.
Kentucky was going to experience based on this American Rescue Plan. The money was going to go to state, the money that was going to go to counties and cities, the money that was going to go to higher education, half of which has to be used to support students in need.
I'm about to figure out why they were mad.
The amount of money that was going to go to help children out of poverty. And the way it was described in this article was that these legislators, overwhelmingly Republican,
I am
our
from
state
Dallas.
House is 75-25, and our Senate is 38-9. They were stunned. They were excited. One person described it as the excitement was palpable. Of course, because this is life-changing for so many constituents of theirs. It is
No, that's not past yet.
life-changing for the future of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Let me put it this way: we have 4.4
If you need help with the
Kentuckians.
PPP, give this call. Give this number a call.
4 million out of 4.4 million, 92% will be getting a check. The $1,400 check, some a little bit less, but most $1,400. 1.2 million children will become eligible for extended child tax credit. 1.2 million children. The magnitude of the impact of this bill is truly stunning. Now, some people will say, and you can imply this, or you can infer this from many things that the Republicans have said, that those $1,400, none of those people don't deserve the $1,400. They don't need it. Well, I hope they all go home and tell those people that they represent, you really don't need that $1,400. You haven't suffered because of this pandemic. You haven't had to care for
They're mad. They're mad as well.
child
Mad as well.
not being able to go to school. You haven't had any.
Hey, I'm so glad you put in a request to put an appointment.
because of the
Yay.
pandemic. You just don't need it. You're a moderate income person. Don't take the $1,400.
$42.85.
I
Yes,
wanna hear that
$42.85.
conversation, because it's not going to happen. As a matter of fact, what we're all concerned about on our side is the Republicans are all going to vote against this,
They're mad.
and then they're going to show up at every ribbon cutting for every project that's funded out of this bill, and they're going to pump up their chest and take credit for all of these great benefits that.
Okay, guys. So right now, what's going on is Red is upset. All right. So anytime you see, I don't know if you guys can see, but you probably have a better view. You have a much better view on YouTube. But you see where it says R, that stands for Republican. Republican is red. When you see a D that stands for Democrat, that means blue. So Red does not like this bill at all. Everybody from Red is voting no. They don't like the $1,400 stimulus checks. They don't feel like it's targeted enough, and they don't like how all. Okay, so there's a lot of states that went into debt because of this because of the pandemic and things like that. So what's happening is that these states are going to be bailed out with the stimulus. So just like how we get a stimulus check, states also get a stimulus check. And so that's what they're working on right now. They're saying, hey, we have too much money going to these states, not enough money going to the people. So this is why they're mad. They do not want this to pass. So this is the debate that they're saying, and they do not want this to pass. So that's kind of what's going on right now.
Support the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021.
And then another thing, guys. So in the beginning, this morning they were saying that let's go home. So Red. So this is Red once again. They were saying they were just if you want to find out how much a charge, just give this number a call. And this morning, Red was like, "Hey, I don't think we should be having this." They tried to go home, guys. So there was thank you so much for the gifts. There was a vote to actually go home, but they're like, "No, we're not going home. We're gonna ride this thing out." All right. So let's continue to go. All right. So it's muted right now. How much longer before the vote? The vote can start happening probably within the next hour or so, pretty soon. But yeah, at this point, they're just delaying it. Exactly. So, they've been trying to delay this thing from the get-go, guys. So is it possible that it isn't going to pass? It could happen, but it's very unlikely that it would happen. It's very unlikely that it actually would happen. All right. I'm going to answer some of these questions while we're on mute, guys. Make sure if you have an important question that you really want answered, that you use the super chat. Use a little money sign so I can see it on YouTube, but I am going to try. Yeah. Tax help. Oh, thank you so much, Winter Indigo. Thank you so much, Winter Indigo. Yeah, guys. All right. Is there anyone on TikTok that's going to be around for a while that would like to be a moderator as well? Anyone? So we can see the full number. I don't know. Can you guys not see the full number? Can you guys see the full number? You guys can't see the last number? Oh, that's the wrong way.
Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield myself such time as I might consume.
Gentleman's recognized.
That's better.
Mr. Speaker, this pandemic has been ruthless. With over 500,000 lives lost.
And if anyone wants to post a number in the comments, like if you're posting a number in the comments, I can. If you're posting the number in the comments, I can probably make you a moderator so you guys can help people. Make sure they call, give it a call in. If you need help with your taxes, make sure you call that number. We are accepting clients now. We have a full team ready to answer your call. We have a full team ready to answer your call. So yeah. It's 833-400-4285. 833-400-4285. I'll be mad. I can moderate. All right, I'm gonna start making some moderators right now. All right, just added one. Anyone else? If you can post a number, I can make you a moderator. So that would help out a lot. So I just added one moderator. If you guys can post a number correctly, I can make you a moderator. Yeah, I'll get you guys a recap. I just want to make sure we have moderators in here. Okay, I see someone else that just posted the number, so I just added them as a moderator. All right, and I only ask for to be a moderator if you plan to stick around for a while as well. Guys, if you want to be a moderator, just post the number. If you guys can see it. All right. And then all the moderators, I just added another one. All the moderators just help people come in, just kind of tell them what's going on. Make sure you, if they have troubles, just see them, make sure you give them the number. But guys, if you're just joining, just to kind of, thank you sincerely, Gigi. Yeah, guys, if you're just joining, if you need help, I'm sorry, if you're just, if you're just joining, yeah, if you're just joining, kind of what's going on right now is that, and I just got word that there are a lot of calls coming in. So good job, moderators. You guys are blowing up this business. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. So what's the word that's going on right now is that there's a big debate on this stimulus package, right? So there's a huge debate that is going on right now. After this debate, they're expected to vote. Now, this morning, they actually didn't even want to vote at all. They didn't want to vote at all. They're like, hey, let's just go home. Let's just go home. And instead of going home, they're like, no, we're actually going to vote. So let me know in the comment section, how upset would you be if they just decided to go home and they didn't vote? That'd be crazy, right? So this is kind of where we're at right now. This debate's maybe supposed to last maybe another hour or so. After this debate's over with, they're going to start voting. Now, if you do need help on your taxes, right now we're accepting clients. I just got word from my team that we're putting more guys on the floor because apparently you guys are blowing up the phones. So if you need any help with your taxes, right? Or you need help with the PPP, you have PPP questions, and you're looking to do business with myself or somebody on my team, make sure you give this number a call. It's 833-400-4285. There's moderators in here that's posting the number as well. So let's get back to this debate.
These provisions are going to change lives.
Oh yeah.
Creating a narrative talking about changing lives, we are going to do it.
So mad
with this legislation. We are doing the right thing, not only because of what we've been saying that we would do for years. This is the moment. This legislation has the support of economists from the left, the right, and the center. This is about the power of ideas. But because it's what the American people want also, let me be clear. The American people, regardless of political affiliation, overwhelmingly support this package because they know what is in it is badly needed to get to the other side of the crisis. I regret
thank you so much for the $5.
The overwhelming support that I just described has not been translated into unity in this chamber.
Yes.
This is bipartisan in America, even if it's not bipartisan.
So we got a quick question. Yes, you can apply for the PPP if you don't have a Schedule C. The link in my bio now, I'm not sure if one of the moderators can post. Well, I need to post it in here. I need to give all the moderators like a link that they can all use. But yeah, if you use the link in my bio, you can find it on TikTok or Instagram. If you use that link, you can actually use a draft Schedule C. A draft Schedule C, which will allow you to use, which means you don't have to actually file. So you can use a draft Schedule C to apply for the PPP. Jewelry company, that sounds so exciting. Yeah.
And big corporations were worth the size.
Yeah, you've had that started on or before February 15th, 2020.
Families who are facing a health and economic crisis unlike anything the nation has experienced in more than a century. I actually have some charts that
Yeah, if you guys are calling the number, it looks like it may have got too busy. So hopefully we're getting some more guys on the floor right now to answer you guys' phone calls. But yeah, just make sure you keep calling. But it looks like it's blowing up, so looks like everybody's busy. So we're getting some more guys on the floor to make sure we answer your phone calls. But yeah, we have a huge team, over 120 employees, working on the clock to answer your phone calls. If you have any questions or you need help on your taxes, make sure you give that. All right.
by the way, they borrowed $2.3 trillion for it. that had overwhelmingly support from their side of the aisle, but look who the benefits went to. The evidence is overwhelming as to who the benefit went to. This package is nearly the same size as what they did, but the impact of what we're about to do will be extraordinary. Multiple reports highlighted how the tax cuts bill did not, as the proponents claimed, grow the economy, or indeed the great hoax paying for itself. That never happened. And they continue to stand behind a law that put the powerful and the wealthy first, and they just
Lindsay said, I called the IRS, told them my taxes. Why is that? I filed for recovery rebate credit, child tax credit, Form 1098 and 1099G. Any tax credit is not 100% sure. There's many reasons why they should be holding your tax return.
Families avoid impossible choices. So I to rise to this moment and support this important legislation, and I deserve the balance of my time.
Gentlemen, research
right. Hi, it's back.
Gentleman from South Carolina is recognized.
No, it has not passed yet, guys. They're still voting on it. They're debating right now.
Gentleman's recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to remind my friend and my chairman, who I have great respect for, Mr. Neal, that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was one of the pivotal successes of the Trump administration that yet led to the lowest poverty among all Americans that had existed in decades, if not ever. Strongest economy and lowest unemployment among all demographic groups. Whereas this plan, this so-called COVID relief plan, is not in fact a COVID relief
yes,
plan.
Yes, you can call that number if you need help with preparing a schedule C. They may be able to help you, but yeah, give that. Don't hesitate.
With making the American people reliant on government programs than they are on creating opportunity for them to lift themselves up.
Thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate that.
Speaker, if you operate a small business trying to get people to come back to work, if you're a frontline worker eager to be vaccinated and hoping this plan will speed that up, if you're
okay, guys, I've seen a lot of questions about what's going on today. So right now, there's a big debate on what should be included, things like that. So here's kind of like the timeline of everything that's happened. Back in February 27th, so remember these three letters: HSP, House, Senate, President, House, Senate, President, House, Senate, President. In order for this bill to become law, it must first be passed in the House. It has to go back to the Senate. If the Senate makes any changes to the bill, and once the House passes it, it goes to the President for the President to sign. Back in February, the House passed this stimulus package. They passed it, okay? Remember, it has to get passed several times. It's not just once. They passed it back in February, and then they gave it to the Senate last Saturday, March 6th. They gave it to the Senate, and then the Senate made changes. So since they made they made changes and then passed it. So since they made changes, they sent it back to the House, so the House can agree on those changes. So right now they're debating about those changes right now. Once the House passes it, and they're expected to pass it today, it will then go to the P, which is President. So yeah, it's passed several times, but it has to pass a total of 3 times and then it's officially become law once you hear the President has signed off on it. Hi Kenneth, what up, Kenneth? Once it's signed off on it. So that's where we're at now. So right now there's a big debate. Red is really upset because they don't like a lot of things that's in the stimulus package. So this morning they had a little tactic where they tried to delay the stimulus package even further. They wanted to they voted to actually go home. So they requested to go home and delay the vote even further. That request was denied. And now they're moving forward with the debate. After the debate, they're going to actually start voting on it. So this debate could last anywhere between another hour or so. But I'm going to be checking Twitter to see what's going on as well. And cool. All right. So that's kind of what's going on today, guys. Right now. If you need help with your taxes or you need help with the PPP, PPP questions, you see this number 833-400-4285. Give that number a call. We have everybody on the floor ready to answer your calls. Let me know if your call's not going through, and I can just do that. All right. So
they're born in your name and not given back to you. goes to bail out blue states. In the prior plans, we already had money to help states. A lot of the money hadn't been spent from the prior plans that we had, but they changed the allocation formula in this plan. It was based on population, so every state was treated fairly. But that's not good enough for places like California and New York that are shut down. So they said, oh no, let's add unemployment in there because our governors have shut our states down and our unemployment is higher. We want more money. We want to take money from places like Florida and Georgia and South Carolina and other states in the Midwest that stayed open. And we want to redirect it to California and New York. So they threw unemployment as a criteria. South Carolina, my home state's the third biggest loser. Florida's the biggest loser. We lose over $1 billion, and $5.4 billion extra dollars goes to rich California. And that's $37 of each of your money. K through 12 education, college and universities get $500 of your money that they're borrowing in your name. Guess what? We know you want to send your kids back to school, but they don't require that the school's actually open. Schools are sitting there closed. They're still getting your property taxes. They're still getting all the taxes that normally fund you, but they're going to send them another $500 of your money, but not require that those schools open.
Okay, so this is really interesting that so right now Red is presenting their case about how about this is just going crazy. So they're saying if this stimulus package were to pass, it would cost each American, it would cost everybody $5,487. And the majority of that looks like it's going to this the unemployment benefit, so it would cost each American $750. Looks like other program priorities looks like it'll cost each American $1,400. Other program priorities $1,279. So they're just saying. So Red is just presenting their case right now about how large this stimulus package is and what it could cost every single body. Just to be clear, Red does not like the stimulus package. Everybody in Red is expected to vote no. Everybody for Red is expected to vote no. So that's kind of what's going on right now.
Says that the Ways and Means Committee created this bill. We didn't create this bill. Madam Pelosi uses COVID as an excuse.
Yeah, so someone said they're being petty, they're being messy.
This liberal grab bag. We had no hearings on this bill. When we marked it up,
yeah, the $1,400 stimulus check is set in stone.
One single amendment was accepted. This is an absolute ram job by the Democrats of a menu of liberal priorities. Mr. Speaker, we can do better. I reserve.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I now would yield 1 minute to the gentleman from California, Congressman Thompson, who is the chairman of the Select Revenue Subcommittee, which plays a central role in tax policy and repeatedly assures me he is of modest income from California.
Gentleman from California is recognized for 1 minute.
Okay, so Red is making this vote that I'm just reading this directly from Twitter. So what you just saw with the guy holding the sign, they're saying that Blue is borrowing money in your name. So, they're completely against this stimulus package. So they're saying Blue is borrowing money in your name. It would cost each American about $5,400, which your children will have to repay. So here's the big difference, and you guys can kind of see about this, what's going on right now. Red is more focused on the long-term effects of passing this stimulus package. So they're saying, hey, if you pass this stimulus package, it's going to cost each of your kids, the people of the future, about $5,400. And they're saying Blue is using this money to pay people not to work. They're using this money to pay people not to work. And they're saying this effect won't be actually felt to our children as repaying it. So what do you guys think about this? Is Red is saying this. Red is saying this is that, hey, our children of the future are going to be the ones that's going to be really affected by this. We're not going to see the effect right now, but it's going to be more of a long-term effect. So what do you guys think about that? True, Red doesn't have a point. Who thinks that Red has a point? That all this money we're giving out is going to affect the future. So this is what they're debating about. They're like, hey, dude, like we really need to think about this, right? And now Blue is saying, hey, we're not worried. Blue is saying, hey, we're not worried about the future. We're worried about what is going on right now. And as of right now, people need help right now. I'm seeing a lot of you guys say, yes, Red has a point. People are saying like, yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on right now. I'm still going to listen, and I'm going to keep you guys updated.
Flexibility and opportunity to businesses, workers, and customers in urban and rural areas. The success of America's gig economy is due to the absence of government over-regulation. Let's take a lesson from the gig economy that has flourished and scale our response around demand rather than regulation. I'm giving this bill 1 star. Our gig economy workers and customers deserve the freedom to work and to thrive. I yield back the rest of my time.
Chairwoman yields back. Gentleman from South Carolina reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield 1.5 minutes to the gentleman from Georgia, my friend, Chairman Scott of the Agriculture Committee.
Thank you. Gentleman from
Thank you very much. Let me first of all try to respond so the American people will know that this money, this $1.9 trillion, is going to help our nation survive COVID-19. It's not just a disease that's out there. It is a disease that has impacted our people. Let me tell you what's in this bill. $800 million for food. $800 million for food. Don't you all know we got a hunger crisis? Don't you know that the American people are hungry? They're in record lines. You see,
he's speaking facts right now.
Miles long.
You hear this?
Every day, trying to get food. It's got $800 million for food for women and infants and children. We have 13 million of our children.
Okay, guys, this just came out. I don't know if you can see right here, but the vote is expected to take place at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So in about 48 minutes, the voting is actually about to start. I'm about to post that on Twitter.
The unemployment is down. Our folks don't have the money to get the food. And Mr. Speaker, this is why our Agriculture Committee is having hearings tomorrow in the Agriculture Committee to address hunger, to see what else we need to do. And I must respond to this. Would you give me 10 seconds? He brought up the issue of the black farmers.
Y'all heard that?
It is important for you to know that our black farmers were not included in the other pieces. And so we got them $4 billion just to help them. And technical assistance.
Gentleman's time has expired.
America needs this. Thank you, Mrs.
Is no longer recognized. Members are reminded that their comments will be directed to the chair. Gentleman from Massachusetts reserves. Gentleman from South Carolina is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I would remind the gentleman due to the enormity of this bill that if $800 million of this bill goes to food assistance, that represents less than 1/1000th of the total, a very tiny, small fraction, and that the prior bills were done in a bipartisan fashion. I'm certain we could have worked on a bipartisan fashion if there was any attempt to do that. But in fact, what this is just a ram job by the liberals to push through a vastly expanding entitlement system. And with that, I yield 1 minute to the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Arrington.
Gentleman from Texas is recognized for 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, the American people deserve the truth. Over the past year, Republican and Democrat lawmakers have worked together to provide temporary and targeted assistance to the American people. 5 times, we passed bipartisan legislation totaling $4 trillion to help families get back on their feet and our country get.
Okay, so who liked the black senator just now? Who liked that? And they were trying to cut him off. Who was here and actually saw that? Who liked the black senator? So pretty much what he was saying, he so it looks like the black senator. So guys, looks like someone from Red was like saying, hey, we need this. So they have like about 60 seconds to talk to prove their case. And he like went clearly over 60 seconds. And they're like, hey, dude, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. He's like, give me 10 more seconds. Give me 10 more seconds. And he went way past 10 more seconds. You can hear people whispering in the background. It's going past 10 seconds. Sir, you guys see that guy on TikTok like, sir. Well, they were trying to get him to stop talking. He would not stop talking. He really wanted to get his case approved. They don't like the truth. I'm hearing it. Yeah, guys, if you're just joining in, just just to kind of give you an update about what's going on. Right now, we're watching the debate. The actual vote is expected to take place in 45 minutes. Make sure you get your popcorn, use the restroom, and so forth.
Just a moment ago. This is historic legislation dealing with priorities long neglected. The charts that he presented tell it all.
I thought he was about to fight. Y'all saw that? Okay, I thought he was about to fight. So right now they're debating. This morning they actually didn't want to do this at all. So Red was trying to actually get everybody to go home. Red was actually trying to get everybody to go home. They're like, no, dude, we're actually going to take care of this. So right now they're debating. Everybody gets about 60 seconds to prove their point. So that's what the kind of going on right now. Right now, Red's upset. Red is upset because they're saying, hey, dude, if we pass this stimulus package, if we pass this, I mean, we're not going to feel the effect, but our children of the future is going to feel this effect. It would cost each child of the future about $5,400, right? So we're not going to feel the effect. So that's why this is what Red's trying to do to prove their case about what is actually going on. But yeah, so there was a black senator. He was saying like he was really trying to prove his case. Like I said, you only get about 60 to 45 seconds to present your case. He went well over that time. I think someone should make a meme out of that. Someone should go rewind this and make. I think that could be a meme. But yeah, so he went well over his time. They're like, sir, you got to stop. It's been more than 10 seconds. He kept going. He didn't really care. But yeah, guys, so that's what's going on right now. If you need any help with your taxes, my team is on the floor. There's dozens of guys ready to accept your calls. Make sure you give this call a number called 833-400-4285. If you need help with your taxes, if you need help with back taxes, your bookkeeping, you have any question about your business taxes, or you owe the IRS, especially if you owe the IRS and you're not looking forward to paying them, give this number a call. We have someone on the floor that can help you.
Okay. There's no doubt about it. And I'm sure that with $1.9 trillion, somebody will be helped. I'm quite sure of that. But the next generation of Americans are not going to be thankful. Let's be honest with the American people. This is not a COVID relief bill. Members of this body came together 4 times last Congress and passed legislation that actually provided relief to our constituents. This bill is so incredibly far away from that, as Republicans have been completely frozen out of this process. Mr. Speaker, what's the result? Only 9% goes towards defeating the virus. $1.5 billion for Amtrak, which is already sitting on $1 billion in unspent aid. Maybe riding Amtrak is a good place to socially distance. Maybe that's the reason. $50 million for environmental justice grants, Mr. Speaker. That doesn't educate our children. Roughly $1 trillion on other liberal pet projects, when we have $1 trillion from the previous bipartisan bills that's been left unspent. Can someone explain what that has to do with COVID relief? Anybody? If members are serious about directly addressing the medical and economic challenges our country faces, like getting businesses open, getting students back to school, getting vaccines to Americans who want them, I'll work with anyone in this body to do so. And you know Republicans will, because we did several times until Democrats ignored us this Congress. Well, please, let's not pretend this bill is about COVID relief. That simply is not true. Mr. Speaker, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from South Carolina reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to yield 1 minute to the gentleman from Connecticut, Congressman Larson, chair of the Subcommittee on Social Security and tireless champion of ensuring the delivery of stimulus checks to low-income retirees.
The gentleman from Connecticut is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank President Biden for his science-based efforts in defeating this virus with his unrelenting focus on putting American families back on their feet. The American Rescue Plan meets the moment and fulfills that old adage.
Duke, the living needs your
is
assistance.
on the way. This bill gets shots into your arms, money into people's pockets, and provides their communities, especially our schools, with the relief that it needs.
Yep.
Connecticut, 1.5 million working
I'm ready to
families,
focus, yep.
$4 billion. This relief is felt by those families. I say to my colleagues, as those families sit across the kitchen table and look across each other and talk about their day-to-day needs and what they need to be met, what needs to be met, Mr. Speaker. And so this bipartisan relief package that we've put forward, and I say bipartisan because when you talk to the general public and when you talk to the people that need this relief directly, you see that more than 70% Democrats, Republicans, and unaffiliated support this bill. Thank you, Mr. Neal.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Guys, there's 211 of you guys watching on YouTube and only 99 likes. Let's get that up. 213 and only 99 likes.
$1,500 check, but don't look at what I'm doing behind my back with the other part of the $5,500 I'm borrowing in your name and the names of each of your children. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I yield 1.5 minutes to Mr. Reed from New York.
Gentleman from New York is recognized for 1.5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank the gentleman for yielding. And Mr. Speaker, I don't need a sheet of paper to express my words here today. I rise in objection to this bill because this bill is being passed on the backs of 500,000 plus of our fellow American citizens' deaths. Under the guise that you're passing a bill on a partisan basis on their souls in order to do COVID relief. This isn't relief. This is because you guys won the majority, and I'm speaking to the American people to speak truth. You won the majority, you took the opportunity to put forth an agenda, and you didn't include bipartisan support. I had one simple amendment on this bill. $1,400 is going to go to convicted child molesters in state prisons. What is that doing to stimulate the economy? Why does a child molester who is sitting in state prison need $1,400 to buy cigarettes or play video games in state prison? That is your priorities. That's what you put in this bill. And you didn't even debate our bipartisan amendment to try to have that included. Let's be honest with the American people. You're playing politics. You're carrying forward an agenda. I get it. You won the election. But this is an emergency. This was a virus that killed our fellow American citizens. And we put together $4 trillion worth of relief to the American people on a bipartisan basis. We should have done it again, and you didn't. And it's wrong, and that's why I say no to this bill.
Guys, that was a pretty good point. So he was saying these $1,400 stimulus checks is going to child molesters in prisons. We are sending out so much money, and it's not even being guided. He said you are literally, because people in prison, and he's right, people in prison are getting the $1,400 stimulus checks, and they're saying like, hey, dude, you're sending $1,400 stimulus checks to people in prison. Like maybe we should be re-looking at this bill. What do you guys think about that? So that's why they're really upset, but what do you guys think about that?
From New Jersey, Mr. Pasquale, chair of the Oversight Subcommittee, who has led on a number of provisions, including extending the earned income tax credit to Puerto Rico.
Gentleman from New Jersey is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your great work. And a lot of people are waiting to get this done today.
Mr. Speaker, it's up to us to help Americans who can't buy their groceries or pay their rent and are not in prison. It's up to us to protect seniors in nursing homes. It's up to us to ensure every American has quality health insurance and is able to get vaccinated. These are Congress's burden, our burden. I'm voting yes because Ingrid from Rutherford told me it would help her pay the rent or utilities. How can I say no to that?
So the living one said, I just called the number and a man named John answered. I said the PPP and he said, we're not the IRS, and hung up. Okay, thank you for letting me know about that. So I will communicate that accordingly. Thank you for letting me know about that, the living will. We'll get that addressed to John. Thank you for that. I'm sending a message.
Americans are crying out for help, Mr. Speaker. Can you hear them? They have given us the burden to act. Today we're going to deliver. We should be happy today. We should not be angry. Thank you.
Thank you for that, living well. I'm
Gentleman
gonna.
from Massachusetts reserves. Gentleman from South Carolina is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 2 minutes to the gentleman from Illinois, Mr. LaHood.
And thank you for everyone who pointed out that comment that I need to read that, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have never saw that comment.
Of the Democrats' so-called COVID relief bill. Congress's focus should be specifically dialed in on crushing this virus, creating jobs, and getting our economy back open. Unfortunately, this package falls well short. As we've battled the COVID pandemic over the last year, the economic stress placed on communities that I represent in central and west central Illinois has been immense. Congress acted 5 times in a bipartisan way over the last year, creating over $3.7 trillion to help keep businesses and workers afloat and support the healthcare community, all of which we supported. As of today, more than $1 trillion of those budgetary resources is still available, including money for state and local governments, small businesses, and schools. Congress can do more to support the economic recovery from COVID, but our efforts must be targeted. We cannot spend our way out of this crisis. In Illinois, we've seen the negative impact of the tax and spend agenda that put our state on the path to economic disaster. The proposed stimulus plan by the Biden administration.
All right, I just communicated that over about John, so I'll let you know what I hear back, but thank you for letting me know about that.
It is disheartening that following calls for unity in his inauguration, President Biden's first major legislative agenda item was partisan and specifically designed not to allow Republican input. Instead of rewarding fiscally irresponsible states with huge bailouts, Congress should work together to incentivize growth, focus on job creation, and vaccine distribution. To generate a strong economy, we need to get government out of the way, open our communities, and enable Americans to thrive. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from South Carolina reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me yield 1 minute to the gentleman from Maryland, the distinguished majority leader of our House, Mr. Hoyer.
Gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the distinguished chairman of the Ways and Means Committee for yielding. Some of us have been here for some period of time. Some of us have heard this debate before. My friend, Mr. Reed from New York, opined, and others have opined about how we passed a number of bipartisan bills. 5 to be exact. March 4th, March 14th, March 27th, April 24th, and then we had
Haley, thank you. I made you a moderator. I just wanted to see if you would stick around for a while, so I really appreciate that, Haley.
See what happened to the majority leader, the minority leader of the House said the same thing. So we didn't take any action. And frankly, tens of thousands of people died, hundreds of thousands of people died. Now, I point out that we've acted 5 times, 415 to 2.
Dinner at 12 p.m.
363 to 40. A voice vote on the CARES Act, $2 trillion.
Okay, so guys, here's what's going on. So this morning, this morning, Red wanted to not have the vote at all, right? So they tried to get everybody to go home. So they made a vote. Hey, we're not gonna vote at all. We're not gonna vote at all. That request was denied. So right now they're debating on the stimulus package. Red is really upset currently with the stimulus package because they're saying the stimulus bill, even though we get the money now, our children of the future will feel the effect of what's going on right now. It will cost each children of the future about $5,500. So we got to think about the kids are our future, even though we get immediate benefits right now. Think about the people of the future. There have been two valid points, two big things in the stimulus. What's been going on today? There was a black senator earlier. He was saying he was really trying to prove his point about, hey, how many people are going to, about hunger, what could be the effect of this and everything like that. And they kept trying to cut him off, but he kept going. He was resilient. He kept going. They said, hey, bro. They cut him off. He said, give me 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds. Granted, he went past 10 seconds. They kept trying to cut him off. Absolutely not. Another point that was made by Red is that the $1,400 stimulus checks will go to people in prison. It would actually go to people in prison. And they said like this, hey, if we send this $1,400 stimulus check, it will go out to child molesters because there is something in the stimulus package that will allow people in prison to get the actual stimulus checks. Guys, also, if you need help with any of your taxes, make sure you give this call number 833-400-4285. If you need help with back taxes, you need help with bookkeeping, anything that you need help with tax related, make sure you give that number a call. Really appreciate that.
For that program. And it was a bad vote for us. It was the right thing to do. But politically, it was a bad vote. How sad, Mr. Speaker, I think it is that we passed 5 bipartisan votes with the Republican president. Now, the president's different. We don't want to give him any credit. And so we're going to cut off the nose of the American people to spite the face of America. Mr. Speaker, the Democratic majority in the Senate has taken action, passing an amended version of the American Rescue Plan that this House approved on February 27th. The version they sent us back reflects the same commitment demonstrated by this House to take the big and bold action demanded by the American people, and overwhelmingly supported, not just by Democrats, but by Republicans. The Republicans outside this House support this bill. Only the Republicans inside this House unanimously, apparently, oppose this bill, while some 60% of the Republicans in America polled say we're for this bill. But we have a Democratic president, I get it. President Biden's plan is reflected in this legislation. It says President Biden's plan, but this is our plan. This is a plan we built over a year of tough debate, long debate, substantive debate, and discussion on both sides of the aisle, and in a bipartisan fashion passed those 5 bills. This bill is consistent with the measures we passed last year to confront the challenges to our public health and economic well-being, achieves a number of critical goals. It puts vaccine into Americans' arms. It will put money in Americans' pockets. It will put children back in classrooms. It will put millions of Americans back to work and reopen businesses safely. And it will put at ease the front line and essential workers who are in the public sector, like teachers, the first responders, by ensuring that state, local, tribal, and territorial governments can keep them employed. Mr. Speaker, the American people overwhelmingly support this legislation, with more than 3/4 in favor of its enactment, according to a Morning Consult poll from March 3rd. I'd like to see some of the RNCC polls, because I think they give the same message. But of course, maybe those people polled didn't realize there was a Democratic president. Heaven forbid that we vote for something that a Democratic president wants.
Mr. Speaker, I put our party up to any kind of analysis in terms of our bipartisan support for Republican presidents when we thought it was in the best interest of the country. Nearly 6 in 10 Republicans want to see this bill pass. Listen to your people. I'm surprised that more of our Republican colleagues are not planning to vote for this legislation. I hope they'll do so. I hope they'll do so because I think it's in the best interest of our nation, of our families, of our individuals, of our businesses, of our economy. I hope they will join Democrats in taking action to help the nearly 10 million Americans who are out of work compared to this time last year. We waited. This is what happened. I hope they will also join Democrats in voting to extend expanded unemployment insurance benefits that would otherwise lapse for more than 11 million families this weekend. Good promise to send another round of $1,400 stimulus checks to most Americans. What are they going to do with that check? They're going to put it in the economy. And it's going to grow the economy and create jobs. And I hope they'll join us in supporting a massive effort at deploying vaccines and testing so we can defeat this virus. The American Rescue Plan means an end to failed approach of hitting the pause button. It didn't work.
Okay, guys, so just to kind of, thank you so much for subscribing. Los Angeles 323 in the building. What's up, Daryl? Our office is in Los Angeles. Just to guys give you exactly what's going on. This morning, Red requested to go home instead of debating and passing the stimulus package. So the Red this morning, they made a request. Hey, can we go home? We don't want to do this. The request was denied. After the request was denied, the debate began. So this is where we're at right now. This is what they're debating right here. This is kind of what's going on right now. This is where the debate is happening. During this debate, Red argued that the stimulus bill will cost each child $5,500 in the future. So even though we the people, I can't believe I just said that, we the people. Even though, I don't know, everybody's getting a benefit. Now, you won't feel the long-term effects until our children will feel the long-term effects. So this is going to affect our children. It will cost each kid that you have today, it would cost each kid about $5,500. All right. They also made a point that the $1,400 stimulus checks, are going to people in prison, including child molesters. So they're saying, dude, we need to help people. They're saying like the $1,400 stimulus check is going to people in prison for child molesters to buy commissary. So they're saying that's making no sense. But the final vote, so after this debate, they're expected to vote. This vote is expected to happen at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is in 23 minutes. This is when the final vote is expected to happen. If you have any questions, or not questions, don't call to ask questions. If you need any help with let's say your taxes or your PPP or your bookkeeping, anything tax related, my team is ready to answer your call. Moderators, if you can post a number. Thank you, Boss Management. If any moderators and Tiki-Taki, let me know if you want to be a moderator. Moderators, go ahead and post a number. 833-400-4285. Just make sure you give that call a number. If you have any troubles getting through, or if someone's being rude to you when you get a call, let me know in the comment section so I can refer that accordingly. If anything happens when you call, I want to be aware of that if you're not being treated right like you're supposed to. So yeah. And if you want to be a moderator, just let me know you want to be. Just post the phone number. And the only way I want you to be a moderator if you plan to stick around. I might be here for another hour or two. If you can't if you don't plan to stick around, then the moderator is not going to be for you. Just let me know you plan to stick around and post the phone number so I know that you can be. I wish I could have moderators in Instagram, but I don't know how to add moderators in Instagram. All right.
It's recognized. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent to include a statement in the record regarding section 06 of the bill.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Hoyer also pointed out that many of us did support President Bush's rescue package. I voted for it twice. We met with Hank Paulson, the Secretary of the Treasury, and the Ways and Means Committee library, and he said you have to do this. We followed suit and supported it. I want to yield 1 minute to the gentleman from Illinois, Congressman Davis.
Yeah, if you want to be a moderator, just
subcommittee, who has been
type in this number so I know you know the number. 833-400-4285. And if you plan to stick around.
Mr. Speaker, this is the day that millions of Americans have been waiting for. And now it's here. This is the day that we get serious about cutting child poverty in
Just
half.
post a number in the comment section so I know you know the number.
Doses in the arms of people, vaccinations that they will get. This is the day that individuals, when they know that their unemployment check is coming, they have hope because now they can pay their rent, pay the mortgage, buy the baby milk, get the automobile repaired. This is the day that the pastor in my church would say that the Lord has made.
The phone number.
Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I say this is the day that
I have that number memorized now. I love it.
the economy of America and save our nation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Massachusetts reserves. Gentleman from South Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, I didn't see anyone post it.
Comments of my friend, the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, when he said that he voted in favor of the bill when Hank Paulson came over and said it's something we needed to do, as opposed to this bill, which President Obama's former director of National Economic Council warned about consequences of this bill for the value of the dollar and financial stability.
All right, I'm going to add some moderators right now. Just tell me if you posted it. I don't know what happened to the comment.
Borrowing $5,500 in your name and your wife's name and your children's
Yeah,
name.
so if I added you as a moderator, just make sure you just moderate the comment section, post the numbers. If anyone's being rude in the comment section, just kick them out, and so forth.
No surprise, Mr. Speaker, that there is no bipartisan support for this bill, and Mr. Speaker, I reserve.
Gentleman reserved. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I want to yield 1.5 minutes to the gentleman from New Jersey, Chairman Frank Pallone of the Energy and Commerce Committee.
Gentleman from New Jersey is recognized for 1.5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I heard some of the Republican members say they want to fight the virus, yet they're voting no on this bill. Well, I would say you should do the opposite. If you want to fight the virus, you should be voting yes on this bill. Unlike under President Trump, when there was no national plan to fight the virus, under President Biden, for the first time, we have a national plan to fight the virus that does not force states and local governments to compete with each other for testing, contact tracing, and medical supplies. The American Rescue Plan will support the national effort to ramp up distribution and administration of life-saving COVID-19 vaccines, as well as the implementation of a national testing strategy that will help us quickly track and contain the virus. It also includes the largest expansion of healthcare coverage since the passage of the Affordable Care Act, including lower monthly premiums for millions of Americans and a covered expansion for millions under Medicaid who are currently uninsured. Mr. Speaker, the American Rescue Plan lives up to its name. It rescues families by providing critical utility bill assistance so they can keep the lights on, the heat working, and the water running. It rescues kids by boosting internet connectivity to bridge the digital divide.
So right now, this is
and
Blue
close the
speaking.
homework gap. Mr. Speaker, the American people are hurting. This legislation will
Yeah, guys, if you haven't liked the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. We're at 225 likes. I like Austin and saying get it to 300, guys. I think we can get it to 300 likes within 60 seconds. 200. If you guys haven't liked it, make sure you give it a like. Let's get it to 300 likes on YouTube. I think we can get it done.
Back. Gentleman from Massachusetts reserves. Gentleman from South Carolina is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that Mr. Brady, the Republican leader of the Ways and Means Committee's statement in this bill, be included in the record.
The request will be covered by General Leaf.
And I reserve, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to yield 1 minute to the gentlelady from California, Congresswoman Sanchez, who was a lead supporter of expanding the child tax credit and a long-standing advocate for helping laid-off workers through COBRA.
The gentlewoman from California is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to support the American Rescue Plan, and I want to thank Chairman Neal for his work to ensure that this package keeps our promises.
After she speaks, I'll give you a recap about what's going on.
It is the biggest investment in American families in a generation. It puts shots in arms, money in pockets, children back to school, and people in jobs. It invests in research, development, and production to get vaccines out to all Americans. It helps keep people in their homes and apartments. It puts food on the tables of families who are experiencing hunger. It supports 27 million children with an expanded child tax credit. It helps more than 17 million workers through the earned income tax credit. It lowers healthcare costs and helps families keep their health coverage through a provision in the bill that I co-authored with Congresswoman McBath. A vote for this bill is a vote for investing in the dignity of America's families. I urge my colleagues to vote yes on this relief package, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Okay, so kind of what's going on, guys, today. So this morning, Red requested to go home instead of voting on and debating the stimulus package. They're like, hey, guys, can we go home? We don't want to do this. Their request was denied. After their request was denied, the debating of the stimulus package began, and this is where we're at right now, where the debate is actually happening. This is where we're at right now, where the debate's actually happening. So during this debate, they're just really saying their sides, like, hey, vote yes or vote no. This is why you should vote yes. This is why you should vote no. So this is what they're debating right now. So this can really sway someone's decision about voting, because each side gets to prove their point. During the debate, Red argued that the stimulus bill will cost each child of the future $5,500. So they're saying, hey, each child that we have, it will cost them about $5,500. So even though we're not feeling the effect today, our children of the future is definitely going to feel this effect. So what's going on? Red also made a point that the $1,400 stimulus checks is going to people in prison, including child molesters, and that doesn't make sense. They're saying it doesn't make sense for a child molested to be rewarded with commissary. So maybe we should, change how we send out these $1,400 stimulus check. The final vote is expected to happen at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is roughly in about 13 minutes. So that's what's going on right now. Other than that, if you need help with any type of your taxes, if you need help with your back taxes, you owe taxes, especially if you owe the IRS. If you owe the IRS, you want to see if you qualify for a lower payment or not paying them at all, you're going to want to give this number a call, 833-400-4285. The moderators can post that. Give this number a call. Someone on my team will be in contact with you. If you give that number a call and you are disrespected in any way or you're not treated fairly, let me know in the comment sections. If you're being treated unfairly when you give a call, let me know in the comment sections on YouTube. And one of the moderators will bring it to my attention and I can address that accordingly. So nobody on my team should be disrespecting you at all. That's unacceptable. So if that happens, just post that into the YouTube, and then we'll get that taken care of accordingly. So that's kind of what's going on right now.
Alabama will lose about $890 million, almost $1 billion.
So this is Red speaking right now. This is Red speaking.
$178 lost for every man, woman, and child living in Alabama. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I reserve.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Mr. Speaker, I want to yield 1 minute to the gentlelady from Washington State, Congresswoman Del Bene, member of the Ways and Means Committee, who has been a tireless champion for this legislation's historic expansion of the child tax credit.
Gentlewoman from Washington is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in support of the American Rescue Plan, a bill that will deliver crucial relief to millions of Americans who've been struggling for far too long. The pandemic has caused economic uncertainty, hardship, and turmoil. An estimated 8 million people have fallen into poverty during this crisis, making the need for relief even greater. This bill includes an anti-poverty measure I have fought for, an expansion of the child tax credit. The expansion will provide increased payments to help families pay bills and buy essentials. The expansions in this bill are estimated to cut child poverty in half. This will transform the lives of many families and children. As chair of the new Democrat coalition, I'm working to make the child tax credit permanent with Representatives DeLauro and Torres. Democrats are united around our shared goal to rebuild the middle class and make some of the biggest anti-poverty reforms in a generation. I welcome my colleagues on the other side of the aisle to join us. Lifting children out of poverty should not be partisan. The American Rescue Plan will get our economy back on track and crush the virus. I urge my colleagues to vote yes on this critical legislation, and I yield back.
Gentlewoman, time has expired. Gentleman from Massachusetts reserves. Gentleman from South Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would remind the gentlelady that we are borrowing $5,500 for every man, woman, and child in the entire country with this $1.9 trillion bill, and that we're using that money to expand entitlement programs, including child tax credit. We'll end up paying back that $5,500 per person. It's going to be the very children that we are professing to help today. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I reserve.
Gentleman from South Carolina reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I want to yield 1 minute to the gentlelady.
So they're going back and forth. You see this debate that they're going back and forth. This is the debate. Red is saying, hey, dude, you want to pass all this new stuff. But, you know, our children of the future is the one to be paying for it.
Work and that of your committee. A few weeks ago, my colleagues across the aisle were animated in their support for fairness for women. So here is the moment to dispel any doubts that that was just a disingenuous defense of bigotry and truly help American women by supporting this transformative legislation. Women have been on the front line.
I know he was the one that wanted to go home.
Over 2 million women have been pushed out of work while fighting to keep their families fed, healthy, and housed. Because of this pandemic, women's participation in the workforce is at a 33-year low. A vote yes for the American Rescue Plan is a vote to say vaccines can get into the arms of teachers and our frontline workers, that direct checks will go to 85% of Americans. An expanded child tax credit will cut child poverty in half. Unprecedented child care funding will directly benefit its workforce, made up of 95% women. Vote yes for women. Vote yes for families. Vote yes for a more equitable future.
Gentlewoman's time has expired. Gentleman from Massachusetts reserves. Gentleman from South Carolina is recognized. Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized again.
Let me yield 1 minute to the gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Byer, a valued member of the Ways and Means Committee who played a central role in shepherding this legislation through 2 days of Ways and Means consideration.
Gentleman from Virginia is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Speaker, my vote today for the American Rescue Plan will be the most consequential vote I have ever cast. Today, we showed that democracy works. Today, we make available all the resources needed to end a pandemic that has killed 527,000 Americans. Today, we lift millions of American children out of poverty. Today, we make the investment to get our children back to school.
Oh, we got it to 300 likes.
Today, we
Thank you,
authorize
YouTube.
economic income payments to millions of our citizens behind on their rents. And
This is Blue speaking right now. This is Blue speaking.
Today, we extend unemployment insurance for the 10% of Americans still out of work because
After this, when he get done speaking, I'll let you know the recap.
To employ the heroes who provide our quality of life. Police, firefighters, teachers, child protective service workers, sanitation workers, and many others. And today we reject the social Darwinism of our Republican friends. We reject the ethic of every man, woman, and child for themselves. Mr. Speaker, I'm proud to vote for this bill today, and I yield back.
Chairman yields back.
Okay, so guys, thank you guys for just joining. Maria, I see you with the popcorn. Thank you guys for just joining. So this morning, Red requested to go home instead of debating on and passing the new stimulus package. They were like, hey, can we go home? Can we do this another day? We ain't feeling it. To everybody, to experts, they're saying this was a delay tactic. The request to go home was denied. So the debating began. The debating began, and that's where we're at right now. So right now we're at this debate, and pretty much at this debate, this is when representatives can come up and say, hey, this is what I think is wrong with the stimulus package, and I think you should vote yes. This is what I think is wrong. This is what I think is right with the stimulus package. You should say no. Maybe said that backwards, but that doesn't matter. During this debate, if you're just joining, some key points that were made in this debate and what red is really pushed. So blue is all in for this. Red is totally against it. Red is saying that they're arguing that the stimulus bill will cost too much. It will cost each person right now who is living today, it would cost each person $5,500. It would cost each person $5,500. And they're like, who's going to pay for this? Red is saying that we're not going to be paying for it. It's our children of the future that's going to actually be paying for this. So they're saying, Red is saying, hey, instead of looking at the immediate benefit of what can happen right now, blue is focused on the immediate benefit. The major difference between blue and red is that blue is focused on, hey, we need help right now. Red is focused on, hey, dude, what's going to happen in the future? Who's going to pay this all back? Another argument that Red made is that the $1,400 stimulus check is going to people in prison. It's going to child molesters who don't really need stimulus money. They're saying, why are people who did bad things that are currently in prison getting $1,400 stimulus checks to pay for things like commissary? So that's kind of what's the hype going on right now. This is what the debate's at. The final vote is expected to happen in 5 minutes. The final vote is expected to happen in 5 minutes at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Guys, also, if you need help before this vote happens, if you need help with any type of your tax situation, let's say you go leave this live, fill out the form in my bio, or give this number a call. If the moderators can go ahead and post the phone number, give this phone number a call, 833-400-4285 if you need help now. But if you need help later, just use the form. Fill out the form in my bio. Leave this live because the vote's not going to happen in 5 minutes. Leave this live. Go fill out the form. If you need help with your taxes, you owe the IRS. You're on a payment plan with the IRS. You don't want to pay them. Or I'm not saying you don't want to pay them, but if you need any help with your taxes, your bookkeeping, anything with your business, make sure you give that number a call or fill out the link in my bio. So people on my team are on standby waiting for you. All right. And also, if you speak to somebody out there and that you're disrespected in any type of way, go leave a comment in the YouTube, and the moderators can post that, bring that to my attention, and we'll address that accordingly.
When in fact it is just an expansion of entitlements that will make people more dependent on the government and will lessen their opportunity and keep debt on our children and our grandchildren.
Reserves, gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I want to yield one.
Red just made a point. Red just said that, hey, if we pass this stimulus package, it's only going to, it's gonna let people lend on the government more, like be dependent on the government more instead of on their own.
COVID-19 pandemic. In my district, working families are struggling to pay bills, small businesses are trying to stay afloat, and countless others are doing everything they can to keep a roof over their heads. They need us to pass the American Rescue Plan. Throughout California, essential workers, many of them Black and Latinos, are keeping our economy running. Frontline healthcare workers are exhausted for caring for their patients day after day, month after month during this pandemic. And local organizations are distributing food every single day to those in need. They need us to pass the American Rescue Plan. And across the country, people are terrified that they or a loved one will get COVID-19 before being vaccinated and end up in the hospital or dead. And they are scared that the American dream is drifting further and further away. They need us to pass the American Rescue Plan. That's why 75% of Americans support this plan. Democrats, Republicans, Independents, for red states and blue states, they're urging us to pass this plan. And they're urging their members to listen to them. They're urging my colleagues on the Republican side of the aisle to not turn a deaf ear to their calls and do the right thing and vote with the Democrats to pass this plan. Thank you, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields the bag. Gentleman from Massachusetts reserves. Gentleman from South Carolina
Reserve.
reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I want to yield 1 minute to the gentleman from New York, Congressman Swazi, a member of the Ways and Means Committee who has been a champion for provisions to shore up the multi-employer pensions.
Gentleman from New York is recognized.
That guy was blue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The other side of the aisle is peddling a false narrative. This bill's not loaded with pork. It's not a blue state bailout.
This is blue.
It's a comprehensive
This is blue.
plan to help people crushed by the virus, beat the pandemic into the ground, and ensure a rapid economic recovery. Yet my friends across the aisle and their cable news and social media enablers continue to promote fake news. Let's set the record straight. It's true that 9%, their favorite talking point, 9% or $171 billion is for vaccines, testing, and other healthcare infrastructure. Well, what about the other 90%? $424 billion for $1,400 stimulus checks, $350 billion for struggling state and local governments, $246 billion unemployment insurance, $219 billion for children and child care so parents can return to work, $178 billion to help reopen schools, $109 billion for farmers and small businesses, $28 billion for restaurants and live venues, $40 billion for renters and homeowners who need assistance. Let's pass this bill. Stop the phony baloney talk points and get the American people the relief they need. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back my time.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Massachusetts reserves. Gentleman from South Carolina is recognized.
I would remind my friend, Mr. Speaker, that what we're doing here is waving a $1,400 check in front of our constituents here and say, look at this, but we're like the Wizard of Oz. Don't look at what's going on behind the curtain, because actually what we're doing with this $1.9 trillion bill is we're borrowing $5,500 for every man, woman, and child in this country, and we're giving them $1,400 so it's palatable to them. We're giving them a little sugar. We're not reminding them of the $4,100 other dollars that are borrowing in their name, of which $1,067 goes to bail out blue states like New York and California. $177 of their money, of that $4,100, goes to bail out union pension plans. $750 of folks back home, of your $4,100 that we're borrowing in your name and your wife's name and your kids' names, is going to extend unemployment benefits to pay people more to sit home than they can make at work. $34 goes to museums and Native American language preservation. $393 for K through 12, and $120 goes to colleges and universities of your money, each of your money, that, and there's no requirement that they reopen. $58 goes for public health organizations, including Planned Parenthood. So this bill, again, is simply a guise. COVID relief, no. As Mr. Clyburn said, let's use this disaster to mold things to our vision, and they're doing exactly that. This is a massive expansion of the entitlement program. I reserve.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to yield 30 seconds to the distinguished gentlelady from Michigan, Congresswoman.
The final vote is expected to happen soon.
It's for 30 seconds.
Right here. This is what that says.
Mr. Speaker, the scale of our relief bill must match the scale of this crisis, and the American Rescue Plan meets this moment. In addition, this comprehensive plan includes much needed relief for our battered cities. As a former mayor, I understand the struggle and the strain of our cities right now. Congress cannot sit by as mayors, Democrat and Republican, are calling for help. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This pandemic is reaching every corner of our country. So let the answer to the call, answer to this call, and pass the American Rescue Plan. I yield back. Thank you.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Massachusetts reserves. Gentleman from South Carolina.
I just want to remind the people back home that the scale of this plan that she's talking about is $5,500 borrowed for every.
Okay, so he keeps repeating that, so I'm going to tell you everything that's going on. Guys, if you see somebody talking, I'm just going to turn the Rubik's Cube, whoever's talking right now. Red is talking. So kind of what's going on, guys, that I've been taking notes is this morning, Red requested to go home instead of debating and passing the new stimulus package. They're like, hey, can we go home? Can we go home? And their request was denied. Their request was actually denied. After their request was denied, the debating began. So this is kind of where we're at right now. This is where they're debating, where they're saying each other's sides of what they think should be in the bill, what they think should be out of the bill. That's where we're at right now. After this debate, this debate's about to end very soon. After this debate ends, this is when the voting of the actual stimulus package will begin. So this is going to be it's going to be big. It's when the voting is expected to begin. During this debate, Red argued. So here's the big difference. Right now, this is currently blue speaking. Right now, it's currently blue. The big difference between red and blue is saying, hey, we need to help people now. Red is saying that. Why did it get so dark on Instagram? Red is saying, why did it get so dark? Red is saying that, hey, this will affect the people in the future, right? It'll affect our children of the future. This is who that affects, right? So during the debate, Red argued that the stimulus will cost each child. It costs everybody right now. It will cost everybody right now. This is that board right there. This is the board right there that they're bringing it up right now. Let's tune into this.
Administration coming out of a very bad financial crisis.
This is Red's argument.
And of course, this COVID bill, this COVID pandemic has led to a financial crisis in this country. But the difference in the response here is stark between the two. Coming out of the Bush administration and in the Obama administration, we expanded government, we raised taxes, we expanded regulations, and we adopted recovery bills that weren't focused on economic growth. And the result of that was through 8 years of the Obama-Biden administration, we had stagnant growth. We had the middle class was shrinking, middle class incomes were shrinking, and it took a Republican president and a Republican Congress enacting bills that lowered taxes, lowered regulation, and lowered government reliance that led to massive economic growth and opportunity for all demographics.
Okay, yeah, so back to what I was saying. He's saying that each of this bill will cost everybody today $5,500. So this is what he's saying right here. It's going to cost everybody right now that's living right now $5,500. And they're saying, like, who's going to pay for it? Because we're not going to pay for it because we're going to be dead when it actually catches up with us. They're making the argument that our children of the future is going to pay for this, not us. And is it fair to them? Red also is upset because $1,400 is going to people in prison. They're going to people in prison, which includes child molesters. So they're saying this is a big point that they made. It's going to child molesters. They also argue that this is not a COVID relief bill. This is a bailout bill. The blue, on the other hand, is saying it doesn't matter what's going to happen in the future because the future is unpredictable. They're saying that, hey, it doesn't matter what's going on in the future. We need to focus on what's going on right now. Right now, people are hungry. Right now, people do not have jobs. Right now, we need to stimulate the economy with stimulus checks. So the big difference between red and blue, blue is focused on the rights now. Red is focused on the long-term effects of the stimulus bill. So that's what's kind of going on right now. The final vote is expected to happen very shortly. Very shortly. So this is what we see right here. Very shortly. Other than that, if you need help with any type of your taxes, if you need help with filing taxes, back taxes, you owe the IRS. My team is ready to answer your calls. Moderators, if you can post the number. The number to call is 833-400-4285. If you don't need help right now, leave this live. Go fill out the form in my bio. It says hire me. Go fill out that form. It takes like 30 seconds to fill out that form so you can get an appointment because it's going to be, we're probably going to be booked soon. So make sure you go fill out that appointment. Come right back to the live. I'm not going anywhere. So let's jump right into what's going on. The Rubik's Cube will determine who's talking. So right now, Rick is talking.
That's why, as opposed to the Obama-Biden recovery, which in 8 years still have not recovered, the economy is quickly coming back to pre-pandemic levels right now. And yet my colleagues on the other side of the aisle have found every reason to rush through costly, unnecessary progressive priorities that my constituents didn't ask for. The American Rescue Plan is costing each American more than their mortgage payment, a down payment on their car, or a semester of their children's college. And their children will have to pay it back. I don't want to leave a huge bill for my kids, and I know most Americans don't either. I hope that this bill, expanding government, expanding entitlements, paying people to stay home, making them more reliant on the government, does not lead to another decade of stagnation, of lost opportunity. Vote no to this dangerous bill. Vote no against a selfish attempt to strap our next generation with debt. Vote no to progressive payoffs that we, the people, did not order. We must do better. I yield.
Chairman yields back the balance of his time. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield myself 2 minutes of our time.
Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, this is a most significant day, and this legislation meets the challenge of history, and it calls Americans to act upon this crisis. This is the opportunity now, and we should act. This is not about self-correction. Far too much is at stake. But I want to thank our colleagues, and particularly the Ways and Means staff, who wore many hats through this legislation. From crafting this package to the brutal negotiations with the Senate, they've worked long hours while facing the same challenges presented by remote school, lack of child care, and concern for family members that Americans face every moment through this crisis. There are too many names to include, but I know that their counsel has been unparalleled and their expertise, as always, unmatched. Over the Speaker's rostrum, Mr. Speaker, is a magnificent admonition from a son of Massachusetts, Mr. Webster. He asks, let us develop the resources of our land, call forth its powers, build up its institutions, promote all its great interests, and see whether we also in our day and generation may not perform something worthy to be remembered. That is what we're going to do in the next few minutes, and I yield 1 minute to the Speaker of the House, whose attention to legislative detail is extraordinary.
This is the big boss.
The gentlewoman from California is recognized.
This is the big boss.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the gentleman for yielding and thank him for his extraordinary leadership in.
This is Nancy Pelosi. This is the big boss.
$1 trillion into
Speaker of the House.
The American people. I thank him and Mr. Yarmouth, the chair of the Budget Committee, for their leadership on this legislation, of course, on this debate this afternoon. It was dazzling to see them and the Democratic chairs and members speak up about this important legislation. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for pointing out the inconsistency on the part of our colleagues across the aisle in complaining about money helping the poorest of poor children in our country, while they didn't hesitate to give large amounts of money to the richest people in America in their Republican tax scam. Your charts were very eloquent, Mr. Chairman. And to hear our members speak about the terms of this bill, the values that are in it, the plan that it has, why they were voting yes on the bill. And to hear the Republicans talk about why they would vote no. It's typical that they vote no and take the dough. And this bill has bipartisan support across the country, not only among the general public, but in mayors and selectmen and city council persons and county executives who are Republican, eagerly awaiting the passage of this bill because they know at their level what a difference it will make in the lives of their constituents, the American people. You know, tomorrow, and I say this is a critical moment in our country's history. Tomorrow, the world will mark the 1 year since COVID-19 was officially declared a global pandemic by the World Health Organization. At that time, just over 1,000 Americans had contracted the disease. 38 had died. Since that day, 1 year ago, from tomorrow.
The vote is expected to happen shortly. The final vote is expected to happen shortly. It was supposed to happen 13 minutes ago. 13.
Lives that were lost in combat in all of America's wars against foreign enemies combined. Each of those lives is precious to us. We feel each loss profoundly and pray for their families and for the families of those who have contracted the virus and are still affected by it. And through it all, an historic economic crisis has raged. A full year later, 18 million Americans are still out of work, according to the statistics at the end of last week. And nearly 10 million jobs may have been lost. We hope to stop that. And the most vulnerable among us have been disproportionately affected. Moms pushed out of the labor market, women and minority-owned businesses forced to shutter, communities of color facing rising disparities. Today, we have a real opportunity for change. Mr. Speaker, as we serve in Congress with each other, we learn about each other's districts, each other's priorities, and the rest. And we learn about each other's why. Why did you come to Congress? Why are you here? Each of us has come to Congress with a purpose. My purpose, my why, are the children. As a mother of 5, raising my kids, seeing all the attention and all that they needed, I was horrified by the fact that 1 in 5 children in America lives in poverty and goes to sleep hungry. Goes to sleep hungry in America at night. That is my why. That is why I went from homemaker to the House of Representatives. And that is why when people ask me, what do you think the 3 most important issues are facing the Congress? I always say the same thing. Our children, our children, our children. Their health, their education, the economic security of their families, a safe, healthy environment in which they can thrive, and a nation.
Okay, guys, so real quick, Nancy Pelosi I believe it's just wrapping up. Nancy Pelosi is the leader of this building, the House of Representatives. I'll give a recap when she's done talking, but while you guys are waiting for this vote to happen, while that's going to be waiting, if you need help with any of your tax situation, you owe back taxes, or you need help with your bookkeeping, use the form in my bio. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be here. Fill out the form in my bio, or give this number a call, 833-400-4285.
Brought to what, as you said earlier, we had in the works for a while, but freshened up by current events, the vaccine and what those possibilities are. The Biden American Rescue Plan is about the children, their health, their education, the economic security of their families again. Our children's health is greatly protected by crushing the virus and by expanding access to health care through the Affordable Care Act expansions in here, Medicaid through FMAP, and in other ways as well. Our children's education is advanced with a $170 billion to open schools safely, including $130 billion for K through 12. This funding will help address the social and emotional challenges that children face, as well as learning loss, as well as opening the school safely. We know what that requires. It requires ventilation, space, more teachers, more space, to name a few things. In terms of the economic security of children's families, this legislation, as I said earlier, Mr. Neal, puts nearly $1 trillion in the pockets of the American people. Republicans did not seem to object when they put that much money in the pockets of 83% of their tax scam into the top 1%. But they seem to have a discomfort level when it reaches the poorest of the poor or those in the middle class who are struggling. So this legislation does that. It includes.
Kenneth, make sure they're calling for tax help.
Which will
Thank you for all the promoting you're doing, Kenneth, but make sure it's tax help. We don't have enough people just to answer questions, but if they need help with their taxes, I appreciate that.
Children in America out of poverty. Children also benefit from the Earned Income Tax Credit, direct payments, and enhanced unemployment insurance benefits for their families. And the economic security of children is also enhanced by pension security of their grandparents, which is historically secured in this bill. Sometimes when I have young people come to my office and ask them, it's all about the children, it's all about the future. High school students, college students, they talk about the security of their grandparents as important because to the extent that their parents can focus on them rather than worry about the financial security of their grandparents, it's very important to the family across the board. For the children, the American Rescue Plan also includes $12 billion in nutrition assistance to help the estimated 11 million children still going hungry. When I talk about this with my family, I say to my kids, there are millions of children food insecure in our country. That's horrible. They'll say, Mom, just say it another way. They're hungry. They're hungry. Someone want to get their food at school.
Yeah, so give the number a call. Give this number a call if you're looking to hire me or somebody on the team. As far as trying to answer your questions, we don't have enough people on board to answer questions. If you're looking to hire me or somebody on my team to help you with your taxes, that's what that number is for, or to fill out that form.
Our families who are on the verge of addiction can have the comfort of knowing that won't happen. They'll have the comfort of home. $45 billion of child care to keep children learning and parents earning. That is always necessary, but even more so with the 2.3 million women losing their jobs.
Oh no. Okay, they ended the live. Hold on. Guys. Actually, the phone's still there. So right now, Nancy is talking about, hey, people are hungry, and then someone's like, hurry up, Nancy, I'm hungry too. I'm hungry too.
Child care. I'll say it again. $45 billion.
What do y'all think about Nancy's buttons?
A little bit of it for Head Start.
Parents,
children learning, parents earning. This is important and central to how families get through this crisis, coronavirus crisis. All of these provisions in the bill are enhanced by strengthening the support for our heroes.
That was a funny comment.
Hence, our bill was called the HEROES Act. Much of that is contained in this legislation. Heroes, because our workers at the state, county, and local level, our healthcare workers, our first responders, police and fire, our sanitation, transportation, our food workers, our teachers, make our lives possible.
Focus, I am focused. That comment was so funny.
Better.
Looks like nipples.
Because many of these jobs are jobs.
Her buttons looked at me first. Anybody want to go ahead and make a meme out of this? Someone said the buttons look like nipples.
Spent on education. More than 90% of
y'all are so wrong.
And local. So
she's gonna be talking for a while. Make it stop.
State and local government keep them in their jobs, these heroes that we talked about, and will help fight the fiscal pressure that they have because of the cost of addressing the coronavirus crisis, as well as revenue loss because of shutdown.
Someone said they look like Bitcoin.
I raised
y'all are so wrong.
His daughter and sister of the mayor of Baltimore.
Why y'all said it looks like nipples? Y'all are wrong.
It's very important to me, local and state.
Let me know if you can't unsee it now after that comment that says it looks like nipples.
We were determined to fight any attempts to weaken what was in this legislation for local government.
Oh my God.
One of the values respected in this legislation is our commitment to communities of color, including Native Americans especially, who continue to face serious health and economic disparities. This legislation will, among other steps, address the 8 and 10 minority-owned businesses on the brink of closure. 8 and 10 minority-owned businesses. The American Rescue Plan, Mr. Speaker, is a force for fairness and justice in America. This legislation is
the final vote is next. The final vote is next.
Have the opportunity to support. It's one of the most.
Somebody, because Nancy's talking about, hey, we need to get this bill out to people who are hungry and things like that. And then there's a comment that said, "You need to hurry up, Nancy, because I'm hungry."
People and made benefits much better for over 150 million families. Today, we have a decision to make of tremendous consequence. A decision that will make a difference for millions of Americans, saving lives and livelihoods. And with all the decisions, it is a decision that we will have to answer for. We will give the American Rescue Plan a resounding and hopefully bipartisan vote to reflect the bipartisan support that it has in the country. And we will get to work immediately to deliver life-saving resources springing from this bill as soon as it is passed and signed, as we join President Biden in the promise, in his promise, that at last help is on the way. For the people, for the children, I urge a yes vote and yield back the balance of my time.
Gentlewoman yields back. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
I yield back my time, Mr. Speaker.
All time for debate has expired. Pursuant to House Resolution,
the debate is done.
The previous question is ordered. The question is on the motion by the gentleman from Kentucky, Mr. Yarmouth. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. Gentleman from South Carolina.
Request recorded vote.
Pursuant to Section 3S of House Resolution 8, the yeas and nays are ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device.
Okay, the voting is about to start. And you just saw that guy from Red. He tried to delay it again. All right, so the voting is happening next. This is the final vote right now. They're voting now.
What had been scheduled as a 2-hour debate turns into over 3. The House finishing up the final version of the $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package. The measure changed by the U.S. Senate.
The vote is expected to take about 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
The House floor.
They're voting now.
Biden could be signing it today on
6 yeses, 5 noes.
In office. So final passage vote on the COVID relief bill on the House floor right now. Ahead in the House are a couple of bills on gun background checks, and they will begin debate on the first of those after this vote on the House floor. The Senate is in session today. They earlier approved the nomination of Congresswoman Marcia Fudge to be the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development at vote 66 to 43. Scott Wall of the Hill points out that
does the gentleman from Pennsylvania seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Lawson of Florida, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Lawson votes yes on House Resolution 13 on final passage. Thank you.
Congresswoman Fudge approved as HUD Secretary 66 to 43 in the Senate.
Motion to concur Senate.
When she resigned from the House.
Designated by Mr. Lawson of Florida, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Lawson will vote yes on the motion to concur on Senate amendments.
Okay, guys. So okay, so guys, the vote is happening right now. Currently, it's at 9 to 11, so it's at a 50-50. It's a majority vote. It looks like all Red is saying no. Just to kind of give you guys a recap of what's going on. This morning, Red requested to go home instead of to do this vote. So they requested to go home instead of do this vote, but said, "Nuh-uh, you cannot go home. We're going to keep this." The request was denied. So then they started debating. During the debate, Red argued that, hey, this stimulus bill makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all because you have $1,400 stimulus checks going to people in prison, including child molesters. During the debate, they also argued that the stimulus package would cost each person living today $5,500. $5,000 for each person living today. They're like, who's going to pay for that? Because we're not going to pay for it. They're saying that the children of the future, the very children that we're trying to protect today, these are the people that's going to have to pay for this. Blue, on the other hand, is saying, hey, we're not thinking about what's going to happen in the future. We're worried about what's happening right now. Right now, people are hungry. Right now, people are losing their jobs. Right now, people need money to pay their bills. They shouldn't have to decide, hey, should I pay my rent or should I have to buy food? Right now, the final vote is happening. Currently, there are 17 yeses and 13 nos. This vote is expected to take no more than 14 minutes long. So no longer. So right now, they're voting right now, and this is it's not 50-50. Dino, we're in the 50-50 is in Senate. We're in the House. All right, so we're in the House. So right now it's 18-14. It's 8. So it's kind of close right now. It's 18-14 right now. This is the final vote. This is the final vote. Also, if you need any help on your taxes, make sure you fill out the link in my bio. You can go fill it out right now. And by the time you come back, the vote's still going to be happening because it's going to take another 11 minutes.
Designated by Chairwoman Eddie Bernice Johnson pursuant to H-Res 8. I inform the House that Chairwoman Johnson will vote yea on H.R. 1319. The member designated by Chairwoman Zoe Lofgren pursuant to H-Res 8. I inform the House that Chairwoman Lofgren will vote yea on H.R. 1319.
All right, so right now the current votes are 19-14. 19-14. Blue is, and let's see, bring you guys in a little bit closer. All right. All right. I know it may be a little bit funky, but yeah. All right. I'm so glad you guys are bearing with me. I am totally new to the streaming stuff. So thank you guys for bearing with me. Yeah, so cool. So right now it's 21-6. So blue, everyone from blue. So no one from blue voted no. All right. I believe if 5 people vote no in blue, it'll fail because everyone in red is expected to vote no. All right. So and the red is saying no. So this is the final bill. There's 10 minutes remaining to vote. There's 10 minutes remaining to vote. So you guys will know real time when this thing passes because you're watching this live with me. All right. And since I have you guys all here, if you do need help with any of your taxes, make sure you fill out the link in my bio. You can go fill that out, and the voting will still be happening. All right. So we have another 10 minutes remaining. Some high points that were talked about during this live was a black representative. They tried to cut him off, and he kept going. They said, dude, you can't talk no more. They cut him off. They kept going. Another high point of tonight's debate, I'm just saying what could be possible memes. Another high point of, oh, look at the disco ball, go disco. Another high point was they were arguing that, hey, like you're sending $1,400 stimulus checks to child molesters in prisons. And another high point could be a meme was Nancy Pelosi's, what she was wearing. It looked like she was wearing a jacket and the buttons looked like nipples. So everybody in the comment section will call her Nancy Nipples, just so you guys won't miss anything about what's going on. Currently, there are 30 yeses and 17 no's. So 30 yeses, 17 no's. 31 from blue. Nobody from red has voted yes net. Yes, everyone from red is voting no. So cool. 31 to 17 right now. So that's where we're kind of going on right now. And there are 8 minutes remaining in this vote. So you guys are going to know real time when this thing gets passed. Yes, Nancy Nipples was a high point. Yeah, so it looks like the high point of this debate was Nancy's jacket. So you guys might want to go take a screenshot, make some memes of that. Nancy's jacket, everyone's calling her Nancy Nipples for some reason. All right. Give this number a call right here if you need help with your taxes, 833-400-4285. I don't know if you guys can see the number. Can you guys not actually see the number? Yeah. Yeah. You can't. Okay, you can't see the number. Cool. You're the best. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so this is the help me, guys, my business and who I work for, and yeah. So if you guys need help, you can either work with me, or work with somebody on my team, but give that number a call if you need help, or if you want to be called later, just fill out the form in my bio. The Vegan Maniac, thank you for the $5. Awesome. Also, guys, I'm also streaming on YouTube. It might be clearer on YouTube, but the YouTube is at Duplo Staff.
Lou, pursuant to HRS 8, I inform that Mr. Lou will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate Amendment to HR 1319. As a member designated by Mr. Lowenthal, pursuant to HRS 8, I inform that Mr. Lowenthal will vote yes on the motion to concur in the amendment to HR 1319. As a member designated by Ms. Barragon, pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Ms. Barragon will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate Amendment to HR 1319. As a member designated by Ms. Moore, pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Ms. Moore will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate Amendment to HR 1319. And as the member designated by Mr. Cohen, pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Mr. Cohen will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate Amendment to HR 1319.
All right, so right now it's 37 yeses and 27 noes. There is about 6 minutes remaining. 6 minutes remaining left to vote. Yeah. Y'all are saying I can't understand anything but the yes or no. He was just saying who was choosing to vote. Yeah. So far, everybody from blue has voted yes, and everybody from red has voted no. Okay, so right now there's 38 yeses, 31 no's, 39 to 31. About 5 minutes left, guys. So you guys are going to know real time when this thing does get passed. You're going to know real time. Real time. Just to give you guys a kind of recap of what happened today for everyone that's just joining. The recap is this morning, Red requested to go home. Red wanted to go home instead of to vote on the stimulus package. They're like, hey, dude, can we just go home? We're not feeling this. Some say it was a delay tactic. Their request was denied. Their request was denied. After their request was denied, they begin debating. All right, so they begin like trying to prove their point.
By Mr. Cleaver, pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Mr. Cleaver will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate Amendment to HR 1319. As the member designated by Mr. Allred, pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Mr. Allred will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate Amendment to HR 1319. As the member designated by Mr. DeFazio, pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Mr. DeFazio will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate Amendment to HR 1319.
Dang, girl, she didn't have to wipe the mic down like that. Wipe the mic down. Y'all saw her wipe the mic down? All right, so yeah. There was a debate. The main difference between blue and red, is that red is thinking about the long term and blue is thinking about the short term. Red is saying, hey, this is going to cost us a lot of money in the long term. And the people who are going to pay for this are the people in the future. All right. Blue is thinking about the short term effects. They're like, hey, we're not worried about what's going to happen in the long run. People need help now, so we need to pass this thing now. So major high points in a debate, if you missed it, the biggest thing that came out of the debate was everybody laughing at Nancy in her jacket. It looked like she had two nipples on her jacket. So people are calling Nancy nipples now. So it may be a meme short coming. And then just to end this, if you guys need any help with
by Ms. Kirkpatrick, pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Ms. Kirkpatrick will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to HR 1319.
All right, so yeah, if you guys need any help on your taxes or you're confused about taxes, you want to hire me or somebody on my team, write this phone number down, call it later after this vote's done, or you leave this live real quick. We got 2 minutes to fill out the form. It takes like 10 seconds to fill out the form. Fill out the form with the link in the bio that says hire me if you need help with your taxes. But yeah, so there's 2 minutes left remaining. There's 2 minutes left remaining to vote, and it looks like we're gonna need more than 2 minutes. So it looks like it may go over 2 minutes. Right now, the current vote is 58 to 51. 58 to 51. So it's going to be a very close call if this thing gets passed or not. It's gonna be an extremely close call. It's expected to pass, but it's gonna be close because right now it's 61 to 51. I believe if 5 people from blue vote no, this thing will not pass. There are 314 votes remaining, 313 votes remaining. Guys, it is now 62 to 61. It's 62. It's 62 to 62. It's 65 no's and 62 yeses. Guys, currently this bill is going on the path to fail. It's 67 no's, 63 yeses. 67 no's, 68 no's, 69.
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Pingree pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Ms. Pingree will vote yay on the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to HR 1319.
73 no's, 67 yeses. All right, so there's 289 votes left. 74 no's, 69 yeses. So right now, this thing's on track to fail.
The gentleman from California seek recognition.
Mr. Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Ruiz pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Ruiz will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to HR 1319.
Okay, so it's 76 no's and 71 yeses. All right, so that we need, in order for this to pass, it's going to need more yeses than no's. Currently, there are more no's right now, so it's on track to fail at the moment, but it could change. This is getting intense. 78 no's, 73 yeses. $78 no's, 74 yeses. $80 no's, 76 yeses. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this is going to pass, or do you guys think it's going to fail? What do you guys think? It's getting extremely close right now. It's getting really, really close. Okay, so it's 83 no's and 80 yeses. So right now it's on track to fail.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Indiana seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. McHenry of North Carolina pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. McHenry will vote no on the Senate amendment to HR 1319.
If the bill passes, Catherine, I'm not sure. I haven't read any guidance on what's going to happen. All right, guys, it's coming up. It's still 87 no's, 83 yeses. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it should pass, or do you guys think it should fail? What do you guys think? And if you haven't already, make sure you give me a follow so you can stay updated. I post about it every day, and I'm also be live again at 8 p.m. Central Time. So if you haven't already, make sure you give me a follow.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Virginia seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. McEachin pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Mr. McEachin will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to HR 1319. And as the member designated by Ms. Porter pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Ms. Porter will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to H.R. 1319.
90 noes, 87 yeses. It is very close, guys. It's 91 to 80. It's extremely close. This thing is going to, whether it passes or not, it's going to be a very close call. It's going to be an extremely close call. Okay, they're starting to get more yeses. It's still 93 to 91. They're starting to get more yeses. It's still 93 to 91. 94 to 91, so it's still on track to fail at the moment. And what do you guys think? You guys think this should fail or pass? Do you guys think it should fail or pass? There are 241 votes remaining.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from New York seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Moulton of Massachusetts pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Moulton will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to H.R. 1319.
101. Somebody from blue just voted no. You see this, guys? Somebody from blue just voted no. That is not a good sign if you want it to pass. You need everybody from blue. They can only afford 5 no's.
As the member designated by Mr. Thompson of Mississippi, pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Thompson will vote yes. He will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to H.R. 1319.
One person from blue just voted no. Luna Phantom, thank you so much for the 199. Right now, it's 108 no's and 105 yeses. It's extremely close. Remember, guys, blue wants this thing to pass. So one person from blue has voted no. I believe, and I could be wrong, but if it gets 5 no's from blue, it fails. Right now, only one person from blue voted no. Everybody from red has voted no. Nobody from red has voted yes yet. Currently, red is in the lead. Red is in the lead for this thing to fail. There's 117 no's and 108 yeses. It's very close. There are 207 votes left. 207 votes left.
For what purpose does the gentleman from South Carolina seek recognition?
The Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Brian Babin from Texas, pursuant to H.R.S. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Babin will vote nay on the Senate amendment to H.R. 1319.
Oh, they voted no.
On final passage of the $1.9 trillion COVID relief package. Expected to finish work here this afternoon. President Biden could sign that as soon as today. One Democrat voting no on this, Emily Cochran of the New York Times, tweeting that it's Jared Golden, Democrat of Maine. Again, a no on the stimulus. He was one of 2 Democrats who voted against in the initial House bill.
So there you got it. Someone named Jared from blue voted no. Someone from Jared voted blue from no. $123 no's, 113 yeses. So right now it's still on track to fail. It is extremely close, guys. It's extremely close. If you want a better view, come to YouTube. My YouTube is at Duke Loves Taxes. The Luna family, thank you so much for the $2.99. I really appreciate that. $193 votes remaining. 193 votes remaining. It's going to be a very close call. Red has 87 votes remaining. Blue has 101 votes remaining. Right now, it's on the failing side. It's 127 no's, 119 yeses.
And should this bill pass this afternoon, word from the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki saying that the president will sign the bill on Friday. He's then expected to physically travel around the United States to detail the plan to Americans. Final passage vote here, and the House will move on to debate a couple of gun background check bills.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Massachusetts seek recognition?
As the member designated by Ms. Mang pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Ms. Mang will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to H.R. 1319.
Yeah, so the person that's I'm about to look that up right now. What person voted no?
For what purpose does the gentleman from New York seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as member designated by Representative Morelli of New York, pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Representative Morelli will indeed vote aye on the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to H.R. 1319. Thank you.
Okay, it's 137 no's and 126 yeses so far. I'm trying to look up why Jared Golden voted no. Okay, Jared Golden voted no because he believes the bill addresses urgent needs and then buries them under a mountain of unnecessary, untimely spending. So Jared Golden's kind of like, hey, yeah, this bill does take care of the stimulus checks, but it also takes care of things that.
From California seek recognition. As a member designated by Mr. Cardenas pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Cardenas will vote aye on the motion to concur the Senate amendment to H.R. 1319.
Yeah, so they're saying like Jared Golden, he just believes there's a lot of unnecessary spending. So right now it's currently at 146 no's and 141 yeses. There are 145 votes remaining. So this is going to be extremely a close call. One person from Blue has voted no.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Florida seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Hastings of Florida pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Hastings will vote yay on the Senate amendment to H.R. 1319, and Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Payne of New Jersey pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Payne will also vote yay on the Senate amendment to H.R. 1319.
142 votes remaining, 147 no's, 143 yeses. Everybody from Red so far has voted no. Everybody but one person from Blue has voted yes. There are 1,381 people.
Does the gentlewoman from Illinois seek recognition?
As a member designated by Mr. Rush, pursuant to H.R. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Rush will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to H.R. 1319.
There's 1,300 of you guys watching from YouTube and only 653 likes. Let's change that, guys. Come on. Help a brother out. Let's give it a thumbs up, guys. Let's get it to 1,000 likes. I like that. Let's get it to 1,000 likes. There's 1,300 of you guys watching, only 658 likes. I want to see that number start jumping. It's at 700. Atta baby. All right, so guys, it's now leaning towards a yes. All right, so there are 152 yeses and 150 nos. So it has changed in a different direction now. Now it's on track to pass.
For what purpose does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as member designated by Congressmember Napolitano, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Congressmember Napolitano will vote yes on the Senate amendments to H.R. 1319.
Okay, so guys, now it's on track to pass. Earlier it was on track to fail. Now it's on track to pass with 157 yeses and 152 nos. Thank you for everybody who just got me to 1,000 likes. Good job. Appreciate it.
As the member designated by Ms. Strickland pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Ms. Strickland will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to HR 1319.
All right, so it's on track to pass right now with 159 yeses, 160 yeses, and 152 nos. So it's currently on track to pass. Okay, it's on track to pass. If you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe or make sure you follow me to stay updated. Follow me.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. As the member designated by the Honorable James Langevin of Rhode Island and pursuant to House Resolution number 8, I'd like to inform the House that Mr. Langevin will vote yes in concurring in the Senate amendment on H.R. 1319, the American Rescue Plan of 2021. Thank you.
All right, 166 yeses, 154 nos, 112 votes remaining. So guys, it's on track to pass. It's on track to pass now. There's no more time remaining. Thank you so much for the $2. I really appreciate that. After this,
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Ohio seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Fudge pursuant to House Res 8, I inform the House that Ms. Fudge will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to H.R. 1319. Thank you.
Guys, it's pulling away now. So it's looking more likely it's expected to pass with 175 yeses and 162 nos. So what was a close call is starting to widen a little bit, leaning towards the yes side.
For what state? For what purpose does the gentleman seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As a member designated by Mr. Stubbe of Florida pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Mr. Stubbe will vote no on the Senate amendment to H.R. 1319.
All right, guys, 92 votes, less than 100 votes remaining. If you need help with the PvP, give this number a call. Guys, if you need any help with your taxes or PvP, give this number a call. Give that number a call or use the link in my bio. If you need any help with your taxes, whether you owe, especially if you owe the IRS or you're afraid of the IRS, use the link in my bio. It says hire me. My team is on standby right now, ready to help you. But you can do it right. Do it after we do it after we're done with this. Don't leave right now because I want you to stay, but do it after this, guys. All right, so it's widening right now. So there's 180 yeses and 168 nos. So now it's more on track, looking like it's going to pass. And this is breaking news, guys. I don't know if you heard this. Biden said he's not going to pass it till Friday. That's what they said, and I wanted to confirm that. So if this thing gets passed today, Biden's not going to sign it till Friday. Originally, Biden said he was going to sign it.
Are you getting enough of the sunshine vitamin? Promote your healthy and
Originally, Biden said he was going to sign this immediately, but now it looks like he's not going to sign it till Friday. So that's breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news.
Whereas the member designated
For a few weeks now, an overwhelming percentage of the American public has made it clear that they support.
Where is that coming from? Yeah. Okay, so it's 189 yeses, 181 no. So it's kind of coming close again. But the biggest change right now, guys, is Biden said he's not going to sign this thing till Friday. So I need to confirm that. That's what I'm looking up right now. I don't have no idea why. Yep, it's confirmed. It's confirmed. Biden, if this thing passes today, Biden's not going to sign it until Friday.
Talking about the mechanics of how a bill becomes a law, and I know there's lots of interest in what comes next. So once it's passed, the bill text will be rechecked, printed, and signed by the appropriate leaders in the House and Senate. The House clerks will then deliver it to the White House for the president's signature. We expect that delivery to happen sometime tomorrow, and then the president will sign it on Friday. We, of course, are moving full speed ahead on the implementation of the bill because we know the American people need help and need it as soon as possible. Is expected passage of the rescue plan.
All right, guys. I got why it's going on Friday. I'll play that after this. There is 53 votes remaining. There are 53 votes remaining, but let me go ahead and play this real quick for you guys while that vote's still happening and why it's going to be voted on Friday.
I can announce that the president will sign the bill at the White House on Friday afternoon. We spent a lot of time, of course, from the podium talking about the mechanics of how a bill becomes a law, and I know there's lots of interest in what comes next. So once it's passed, the bill text will be rechecked, printed, and signed by the appropriate leaders in the House and Senate. The House clerks will then deliver it to the White House for the president's signature. We expect that delivery to happen sometime tomorrow, and then the president will sign it on Friday. We, of course, are moving full speed ahead on the implementation of the bill because we know the American people need help and need it as soon as possible. Is expected passage of the rescue plan. I can announce that the president will sign.
Okay, so guys, I just wanted to show you guys that that actual language about why that's happening. All right. Let's get these other screens back up. So there's 40 votes remaining, guys. There's 40 votes remaining. 202 yeses, 191 no's.
The gentlewoman from New York seek recognition.
As a member designated by Ms. Bush of Missouri, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Bush will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to H.R. 1319.
37 votes remaining, guys.
Voting against the bill, according to our Capitol Hill producer Craig Kaplan, is Jared Golden of Maine, who voted against the original House version of the package. He's also a no today. Emily Cochran of the New York Times says, however, that Bert Schrader of Oregon, the other Democrat to vote against the House bill originally, is voting in favor of the measure today. Again, some changes made by the Senate when they passed it earlier this week, actually on Saturday of last weekend. Speaking of the Senate, they approved the nomination of Marcia Fudge to be HUD Secretary, Housing and Urban Development. The vote 66 to 34 in the Senate means that she will resign from the U.S. House and could be sworn in very soon by the president.
All right, so guys, at the moment, it looks like it's going to pass. There's only 33 votes remaining, 205 yeses, 194 noes. Yeah, it's a no today. If you haven't already, guys,
For
make
what purpose does the gentlewoman from Connecticut seek recognition?
As the member designated by Ms. Wilson pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Ms. Wilson will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to HR 1319.
All right, 25 remaining, guys. I'm going to post a video later on today just going over a recap on this. If you haven't already, make sure you give me a follow. Make sure you're following me so you can stay updated. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube as well. We'll be going live again tonight at 8 p.m. time to go over the recapping any questions that you have as well. There's 22 votes remaining. There's 211 yeses, 200 noes.
Speaker, as the member designated, Harla, pursuant to 8+8, I hereby inform the House that Mr. Harla will vote yes on the motion to concur in the Senate Amendment HR 1319.
19 votes remaining, guys. 19 votes. This could 18 votes, 212 yeses, 202 noes. Only one person from blue has voted no. Thank you so much for the $10, Denise. I really appreciate that. $14 votes remaining. 14 votes. 215 yeses, 203 noes. $216 yeses, 204 noes. 12 votes remaining. 11 votes remaining. There's Nancy Pelosi right there. People are making fun of her jacket. 10 votes remaining. Nine votes remaining. $218. Yeah, it's on track to pass. The new stimulus package is on track to pass. It's on track. It hasn't officially passed yet. And guys, remember, so after this passes, remember HSP, it has to get passed in the House, the Senate, and then the president signs it. So it's been passed in the Senate. Now it's getting passed. It's being voted on in the House. In order for it to become official, the president has to sign it. Biden announced that he is not going to sign it immediately. He's going to wait to sign it until Friday. 7 votes remaining. It's 219 yeses, 206 noes. It's very close. It is on track to pass in the House. It is on track to pass in the House. Make sure you guys are screen recording this so you have evidence. This is history being made. We are making history. 6 votes remaining. 5 votes remaining. 220 yeses, 207 noes. 4 votes remaining. 3 votes remaining. 1 Republican just voted yes. 1 person from red just voted yes. This is big. That's huge. 1 person from red voted yes. That means that debating swayed 1 person in the red. It's on track to pass. Two votes. Oh, they just took away red's vote. It may have been a mistake. They just took away red's vote. 1 vote remaining. They took away red's vote. It may have been a mistake. 1 vote remaining. One red vote is remaining. 220 yeses, 211 noes. The bill is on track to pass. They're asking, would anyone like to change their vote?
On this vote, the yeas are 220, the nays are 211. The motion is adopted.
It has passed in the House. The stimulus package has passed.
Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
Yes, guys. So the stimulus package has passed in the House. So just to guys give you an update, it's passed in the Senate. It's passed in the Senate. It is passed in the House. So the first one has passed. So now it goes over to the president, and the president is going to sign it. The president said he's going to sign it immediately, but it looks like it's not getting signed until Friday. And we'll go ahead and end this one right here, and we'll go ahead and end this live, and then I'll let you guys get on with your days. But I do want to play this last video for you guys about how it's going to happen, how it's going to unfold, and then you guys can go ahead and go about your days. So
sign it on Friday. It is expected passage of the rescue plan. I can announce that the president will sign the bill at the White House on Friday afternoon. We've spent a lot of time, of course, from the podium talking about the mechanics of how a bill becomes a law, and I know there's lots of interest in what comes next. So once it's passed, the bill text will be rechecked, printed, and signed by the appropriate leaders in the House and Senate. The House clerks will then deliver it to the White House for the president's signature. We expect that delivery to happen sometime tomorrow, and then the president will sign it on Friday. We, of course, are moving full speed ahead on the implementation of the bill because we know the American people need help and need it as soon as possible.
Okay, yeah, so that's kind of like the update, guys. So it's been passed in the House, it's been passed in the Senate. Next, it has to be signed by the president. The president said he's not going to sign it until Friday. Once it's signed until Friday, this is when you'll start seeing more information about the $1,400 stimulus checks. This is when you'll start seeing more information about the unemployment benefits, the child tax credit. I will be going live again. Robert, thank you so much for the $9.99. I will be going live again today at 8 p.m. Central Time. If you want more information, make sure you give me a follow. Join tonight's live. Also, if you need help with your taxes, you need to go to the form in my bio. Fill out that form on my bio. It says hire me if you want to work with someone from, if you want to work with me or somebody from my team. Or you can give this phone number a call. It's 833-400-4285. Our team is on standby to help you out right now. So go give me a call. Other than that, guys, I will see you guys tonight at tonight's live at 8 p.m. Central Time. Bye-bye, guys. We'll answer all your questions there. If you want instant stimulus updates, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Twitter is where I post things first. I post things first on Twitter. So follow me on Twitter if you want the instant updates. All right, I'll see you guys tonight on tonight's live. I'm going to go ahead and end this. All right, bye-bye, guys. All right, I will see you guys tonight. All right, bye-bye, guys. All right, YouTube. It was nice speaking to you guys. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye, guys.